Please let all be seated. Please let us sit. Good morning, my fellow Rotarians, Rotaractors, guests and friends. I especially recognize our guests that are here, our distinguished guests. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this event, the Public Image Seminar for our District 9111. And maybe on behalf of the Public Image Committee, I should sincerely apologize for starting this program late. I guess they were ready, but we're just trying to wait for you. You understand? I expect this place to be filled up by now. We have 80 clubs, and if we have an average of 50 public image officers of all the clubs, and an average of about 40, which is 50% of our presidents here, and some other Rotarians, Rotaractors, I guess this place should be filled up by now. But that's as me. Let us please commence this program. It is my pleasure to call this event to order. Please may we rise for Rotary grace. After the count of 3, 1, 2, go. Lord, we are all good. We praise thee for our daily food. Rotary friends and Rotary ways, help us to serve thee all our days. Please, I will join the committee and the comparison of this program, so let us make it as fast as possible so that we don't keep our guests waiting. We've been here for a while. I thank you very much for, please let us all sit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my DG, for calling the meeting to order. This is what we do in Rotary because we are very orderly people. So we need to start the meeting properly. Right now, I'd like to call on the District Secretary, past President Mike Effield, to give us the Rotary 4-way test. Please can we put our hands together as a house? The man is a professional journalist, the editor-in-chief of Ovation magazine, and right now the special media assistant to the governor of Ibadan. Thank
you. By District Governor, fellow Rotarians and our guests, the 4-way test of the things we think, say or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it bring goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you very much.
A round of applause for our District Secretary. I would like to call on Rotarian Lawrence Adesoye, past President of Rotary Club of Egbe, to take the object of Rotary. Please let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. My District Governor, Chairman of this event, fellow Rotarians, guests and friends of Rotary. My name is Rotarian Lawrence Adesoye. I'm to take the object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of world enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster, first, the development of computers as an opportunity for service, second, high ethical standard in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth and the last one, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideals of service. Thank you.
Can we put our hands together for him? That's one of our past presidents and also a deputy district secretary. Right now, I want to specially welcome one of our special guests of honor. Is a Rotarian president of Rotary Club of Iwo-Tuton. Is also a honorable man, a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Let's put our hands together for Rotarian Stephen as he comes forward. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for him. Let's put our hands together for him. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to recognize the representative of the commissioner, the representative of the commissioner for information and strategy, Honorable Kayode Akimade. Let's put our hands together for him. Please, can you stand on your feet and just wave to us? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are welcome. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? Our first speaker today will be talking technology. Our first speaker will be talking technology today, because everything we do now relies on technology. But before he does that, I would like to call on the chairman of this occasion, the man that has put this program together, the chairman of the Public Image Committee of Rotary District 9111, past president, Rotarian Olalekan Otun, for his welcome speech. Let's put our hands together for Rotarian Olalekan Otun, past president, for his welcome address. Thank you very much.
The United District Governor, the PDGs, the speakers of honor, Honorable Stephen Ogunigbe, our distinguished team speakers, the Honorable SA for Information of the State represented, distinguished Rotarians, guest and friend. Every time we get the opportunity to especially mention the benefits of being a Rotarian, we first have to start by narrating the foundation and the etymology of Rotary. RI was founded in 1905 by the visionary Paul Harris. He lived 1868 to 1847 in Chicago-based Attorney General, and he has that vision to create a professional club that will bring together business leaders to promote fellowship, community service, and ethics. The vision of Rotary is to unite professionals in service, leadership, and pursuit of lasting change. The district which we are presently, the Sinera one, was formed or was redistricted and was formed in Sinera 9110. And and it covers both Lagos and Ogun State. And we're presently being led by our dynamic United DG, Lieutenant Eri Akinyele. A positive public image is to set up all Rotary activities, must to draw new members to us. It will also manage our relationship, both internal and external. As curriculum PR experts, as advert practitioners, this includes managing both internal and external publics, the digital age, the social media, managing crisis communication, and promoting community engagement. The theme for this year's public week seminar is strengthening Rotary's credibility and visibility through strategic communication. I want to thank our DG. I want to thank all the committee members for doing a good job, and they've put up related topics, and so many of us will definitely enjoy. This seminar is for public officers, but however, we have in our midst here pressmen from numerous media houses, journalists, who are not only covering it, but we are also using this opportunity to train them about how to report Rotary. Hopefully, after this, they will express their interest to and join us as Rotarians. Please sit back and enjoy every moment of this public image. Thank you all for coming, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our public image chairman. Right now, I'd like to again call on the DG, Prince Henry Akinyele, for his own welcome remarks. Let's put our hands together for our DG as he comes.
Thank you very much, John. Once again, good morning, my fellow Rotarians. It is my pleasure once again to be here on this occasion of a public image seminar for the year 2025. I must especially recognize distinguished guests that are here. I recognize our guest speaker, sorry for that. Thank you very much. I recognize especially their friends and brother. I wanted to say Rotarian. Sorry, can you please give me space there? I wanted to say Rotarian Odomuyiwa, but I know that it's not a Rotarian, but hoping that before the end of this event, he will join Rotary. So, Mr. Odomuyiwa, I thank you very much for honoring us. I know it's not a small means to be a head of corporate affairs of a big company like CFAS, so I know what it means. It's a pleasure to have you here. And like I said, we would like you to join us. Rotary is beautiful, Rotary is good, and the only platform that can afford us, someone like you, I know there are quite a lot of foundations around, but an organization that is well known and a platform to do good by joining your friends to impact our communities is Rotary. And an organization that has over 1.4 million Rotarians all over the world, and visible in over 200 countries and geographical locations. You know what it means. So I would love to welcome you to us. So I thank you for being part of us today. I also want to recognize my dear brother and friend, Honorable Akimade, the Special Assistant State Governor on the information and orientation. I know he's a very good brother, but quite unfortunate to go here because they have to present the budget. The government is presenting the budget of the state today, so apparently as the head of the Ministry of Information, he has to be on ground. So I appreciate him as well. And I want to thank the representative of the Honorable Mrs. Omobola Logunami. Thank you so much for representing the commission. We appreciate you. And also my elder brother, my own past president, Jide Ogunleye. I thank you very much for also joining us. I recognize everybody. And to our special guest of honor, my own United President, Honorable Stephen Ogudipo, thank you very much. There's nobody who is most appropriate to be a special guest of honor here than you, being a current president of a Rotary Club, and of course, the spokesman of the House of Assembly of Lagos State, Honorable Ogudipo. Thank you very much. I know this is a very busy period for you. This budget presentation and all the activities, I know what it means to the government, but you don't have a choice for today. We have fooled you. Thank you. So I'm honored to welcome you all to the Rotary District 9111 Public Image Seminars 2025. Today we are here to empower ourselves with knowledge, skills, and strategies to amplify Rotary's positive impact and presence in our communities. To our chairman and speakers, I thank you for accepting our invitation to share your expertise with us. Your insights will shape our understanding of how to effectively communicate Rotary's mission and values to the world. Fellow Rotarians, today we are here to address a critical aspect of our organization's growth and sustainability: public image. A strong public image is crucial for attracting new members. I think you will all agree with me for that. Inspiring contributions to our foundation and forging partnerships that amplify our service of impact. It is about telling our story with confidence, pride, and conviction. And that is what public image is all about. During my training as a district governor in Florida, we were advised that we should put as much as possible budget in our public image, because there's no point running the program, a budget of over $30,000 and people don't know about this. And that is why it is important that we listen to our speakers today to see how we can amplify our stories. In today's world, perception is reality. How we present ourselves to the public shapes the understanding of who we are and what we do. A strong public image helps us to build trust, credibility, and recognition. It opens doors to new opportunities, partnerships, and resources that enable us to make a greater impact. We are here to explore how we can strategically engage with media, tell Rotary stories with impact, and leverage social media to showcase our positive work. We shall delve into the art of crafting compelling narratives, harnessing the power of social media, and building relationships with media professionals. Today's agenda is packed with valuable insights, strategic media engagement, and Rotary's brand, using public relations strategy in telling Rotary's story for impact and credibility, using social media to amplify Rotary's positive stories. I therefore urge you all to participate actively, ask questions, and share your experiences. Let's make the most of this opportunity to enhance our public image and take our service to the next level. Once again, to our special guests, I want to say a very big thank you for honoring us. And to the Public Image Committee led by Rotarian past President Olale Kontu, I want to say a big thank you for your dedication and hard work. Your efforts are shaping the narrative of Rotaries in our district. Like I said sometimes, maybe some of our gatherings, when we were planning for the year, and we were invited by one of the biggest banks in Nigeria for sponsorship. We wrote them very beautiful proposal, and when I got the call to say we should come for discussion and all that, I was confident that for these people to have called us to come and meet with them, yes, we are in for something very good. I packaged my presentation and a team to follow me for that presentation. On getting there, we were received right from the ground floor. The receptionist, the security knew we were coming. Oh, Rotary, they gave us tags, elevator to the last floor, and they seated us in the boardroom. Within few minutes, they were coming in, the officers. The oldest of those, the panel, the oldest cannot be, she can't be more than 33, 34 years old lady. The youngest will be around 24, very young. I don't want to say naive, but she looks so young, very young guy. There were 4 of them. And they sat, we sat, and the introduction started. This is head of partnership and corporate this. She gave us her card. She distributed her card. The next one, another young lady, head of corporate responsibility, corporate social responsibility. This is that game. Another one, this, the other 4th one, the young guy, head of this, they were there. And they said, they greeted us, they were so excited to see us, and they asked us to make a presentation. I was extremely happy. Cracking jokes, treating the panels, presenting, that after the presentation, after about 10-15 minutes presentation, the first thing they asked was that, sorry, can we have your social media? We will try to search for you. We saw quite a number of Rotary here. And it's so difficult to relate all these things we have done in the society, in our communities within the past few years, to relate it to the followers we are seeing here. You don't have up to 1,000 or a little above 1,000 followers. We're expected to engage with a group that will have nothing less than 1 million followers and all the rest. And they said, after quite a lot of discussions, I was mentioning big names. We have Babaju Nide can invest, we have Babaju here, chairman of Wema Park, chairman of the Nestle. They said, no, sir, no, it's not about that. We want to see your followers. We want to see the visibility we will get if we are supporting you. And that is the power of public image. They couldn't help. In fact, as a matter of fact, they in a way, I would say they love our presentation, but they say they have no basis. They must not take this to the management to say we are supporting this group, this, and they cannot match it with the visibility, the mileage they will get in terms of if we are able to do this and we are covered that about 1 million people are also following us, in this project. So they said they cannot do anything. And I came back, I called the public image team to say, we are in for it. This is high time. We need to modify, review, and recreate our engagement in terms of public image within the public. And I want to commend that they've been doing so well. Their followers has grown, and I hope that before the end of the Rotary year, we'll get that manage for future use. So I want to thank you very much, the public image team, for what you are doing. As we embark on this journey, let's remember that public image is not just about visibility, it's about authenticity, transparency, and accountability. So let's commit to showcasing the best of Rotary, celebrating our achievements, and learning from our challenges. I want to thank you very much. I hope you all listen to our speakers. Thank you very much.
We can do better than that. Thank you. We can do better than that. Yeah, right now we would like to call on somebody very special. Indeed, he's a special guest of honor to quickly speak with us, give us his keynote a short keynote address before we make progress, before we get into the theme session of this event. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together for Rotarian Honorable Stephen Olukayo Owodipe. A round of applause for him as he comes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to appreciate our chief host of today, who is a very reliable, very humble, and very efficient district governor, Utulan Prince Henry Akinyele. I appreciate you, sir. I also want to seize the opportunity to apologize to you. That it has not been easy. I have many opportunities to attend some of the functions, but like you rightly said, Rotary is in my heart, and at times too, when these duties clashes, it's unfortunate. So I'm truly sorry, and I also want to assure you that you will see more of us definitely. Let me also seize the opportunity to appreciate all of us that are here. I'm saying that because this particular seminar is very key, not just to Rotary International, even to us personally, because by the time you leave, I'm sure a lot of things will have gained, definitely. And being a participant too, I know exactly what it means. So, if you permit me to rest on the well-established protocols, but let me seize the opportunity to just appreciate the chairman of Rotary Club's Public Image Committee, who has been constant that I should just be here. Distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Public image management for both internal and external stakeholders is imperative for organizations' development to achieve goals and long and short-term objectives. Having attended PETS and as a club president, RC Ewututu, every time we get the opportunity, especially for the benefit of prospective Rotarians, we narrate how Rotary International was founded and its signature initiatives, which is End Polio campaign that has exterminated the deadly disease from the first of the heart and saved millions of children, especially Nigerian children. Because those of us that are from the past that are aged know what we mean by polio in Nigeria before, and how it's devastating, especially in the north. You would pity those children when see the conditions, and they all feel it's part of what will happen to them. They didn't know what of these things are curable. So we'll continue to appreciate Rotary for this. Rotary vision is to unite professionals in service, leadership and pursuit of lasting change across the globe in our communities and in our services. And I've said this severally at some of the fora I'm always attending. I have been a Rotarian since probably 1988-89. That my father always insists that please join Rotary, but I never take it so serious until the man died and I was going through his diaries, and he said there that one of his regrets that I didn't join Rotary, and that was the day I decided to join Rotary within my community. And if you look at what Rotary stands for, you will surely want to join. And there was a day the DG came to my place and said, Mr. President, how far have you gone with your Rotary Foundation? How much have you contributed? And I was looking at myself, I said, I have tried, I have done $1,900 or so. And he said, no, you've not done enough.
And from that days, it was in my mind that I think I have not done enough. And immediately I got the next allowances and whatever. I was just putting them together. And I made sure that before the last function, unfortunately I couldn't even attend, that I was able to do $5,000. So thank you. And let me say this, sir. And I always tell them, on club level too, that when you do good to people who don't know at all, the way it comes back to you, you'll be shocked. When I was giving out that money, I was also that how do I get this money back? That I need this money for something else. And I paid. I just closed my eyes and transferred the money. And believe you me, that week and the week after, surprisingly a lot of money came to my account. It's a testimony I said I was giving. So, public image. What the public image is the perception that the public owns of the organization. It is shaped by the actions and impacts of Rotarians, our club's activities, and how we communicate our works. A positive public image is at the center of all Rotary activities and crucial for attracting new members. It helps our clubs to secure donations and build strong communication partnership. I'm happy with what the district governor have told us here. Because if you don't sing loud, and social media is the hit thing now. I'm in charge of the communicative aspect of Lagos State because everything has to be under my purview, including the Commissioner of Information. And I do tell them that I take time to listen to radios. I take time to listen to and go through social media. And one thing that I've observed, if you don't put yourself outside there, nobody is going to put it out for you. And I'll give you one example. When Lagos State House Assembly was in crisis, and we had our own issues with the speaker, and we were making such, and the whole thing asked for me to speak to the public. And at times they will say, don't say this, don't say that. But I will tell them, when I hold this mic, it is now my own thing. Because when the wahala comes, none of you will be there with me. And I want to say this to you. The day the president of the country invited us to Abuja, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, TFR, he said one thing which I will never forget. Because I was almost on the 10th or 15th chair seated, hiding my face. So when he entered, he said, where is he? So I was looking, who is he looking for? So at the point in time, I just showed my face. He said, no. And let me say what he said. He said, all the things you've been saying, both on radio and television, I've been going through. That between 1 and 3 a.m., that is the time we goes and people whatever I say to Lagosians. And there's this particular one I said lastly, that what are the leaders doing? I've been instructed us, I've been said this is the way we should go, and we said no. That we are all in this together. This country belongs to all of us. And he said he was moved. And that was the reason why he had to send a charter flight to take all of us to Abuja. So, image is extremely important. If I've said something that is weird against the country, I won't probably will have that opportunity. And he said, I like your courage. I like the way you spoke to Lagosians. You did not allow that crisis to enter your head. So, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, we should remember that our image is extremely important. Although this seminar for public image officers in Rotary, a lot of non-Rotarians and friends of Rotary, especially journalists, are present with us. And it also gives us the opportunity to talk about ourselves. We have no other country than Nigeria. So at times, when we look at politicians and said, all politicians are bad, what of journalists? And when we look at Rotarians, we are all in it together. betray our country. Even our home is the way people will take it for us. Nobody is going to repair this country for us than ourselves. I will tell you one simple story, very short one. There is this governor in the East. I'm sure you all know the story very well. You know, there is a particular man that was abusing him on radio. He's a useless man. He said all sorts of rubbish about him. He got to the point, the governor said, "No, bring this man for me. Let me see what is my offense that is destroying my image so much outside there." So when they brought the guy, it was this Kekema that brought him to the governor. And the governor looked at him and said, "So you are the person. Thank you, I'm seeing you for the first time. Please, how did you get here?" He said, we are poor people now. How do I get here? It was a camera. So where is the guy? He said, "The man is outside." Okay, take this 200,000 and give to that Kekema that he has entered the governor's lodge today. Between the governor's lodge and the Kekema, the 200,000 has diminished to 20,000. He didn't know he was being watched on the camera. So when he came back, I didn't even the man said yes. So they brought the man that was entering. He said, "How much I gave you?" He said, 20,000, sir. But I gave you 200,000 to give this man. So you have the guts to criticize, and you cannot do the same outside there. That is just a test. And from that day, the man cannot even be out there to say it. And he will have been given that same job to go and clean the governor outside. That was the position they already stated for him, to be the image maker of the same state he was condemning, but he lost everything. So the theme for this year is strengthening Rotary credibility and visibility through strategic communication. It's very hard, thanks to our own place of impact, our United no doubt, because we are people of action. For collaborating with the government to improve the living conditions of the less privileged in our various communities. Some of the things we tell us to, even politicians find it difficult to do. And they come and ask and say, where do you get money to fund? It is donations from everybody that is making this happen. On this note, I implore all participants to please learn and take positive notes from the number of speakers lined up for this training seminar. Once again, thank you to Rotarians as we unite for good, for the betterment of humanity and the Gaussians at large. God bless Nigeria, God bless Lagos, God bless the king, and to all the Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Honorable Goodipek. That was wonderful. I would like to recognize our district governor nominee, Rotarian Dr. Samuel Agetu. Please, can we give him a round of applause? Thank you very much for honoring our invitation today. All right, trying to bear with us as we need to take one more keynote speech. Please, can we warmly welcome Mrs. Abolade Ogunlami, representing Honorable Kayode Akimade, Special Advisor on Communication, Ogun State. Please, a round of applause as she comes forward to take this keynote speech. Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Special Advisor to the Governor, the State Governor, on Information and Communication, Honorable Kayode Akimade, I bring greetings from the Gateway States, and I would like to recognize the District Governor, Rotarian Prince Henry Akinyele. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here this morning, and every other participants. Permit me to maintain the already established protocol. I'm reading this address on behalf of Honorable Kayode Akimade, the Special Advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Communication and Information. Let me confess to be quite thrilled to be one of the speakers at this auspicious event organized by the Rotary International District 9111 in recognition of the need to continue to oil man's unique and innate characteristics, which is communication. Ordinarily, many will think that strategic communication only needs to be deployed in marketing or governmental environments, where performances are measured amidst cutthroat competition. But in the wisdom of the leadership of Rotary International District 9111, strategic communication is deemed a necessary tool for the propagation of the good tidings of this organization. I attest to it today that the wisdom in that decision is impeccable. Kudos to you, sir. Let me share with us why strategic communication is vital for any organization, especially a not-for-profit organization like Rotary International. First, we have to note that communication is the oxygen that drives our being as humans. It divines the essence of our being, particularly because of the Almighty who created us, molded us as community-building higher animals, who evolved communities, societies, and groups through communication. We have learned in evolutionary terms that man's communication led him to create complex systems and societies, which we today call governments. Communication scholars have also made us to understand that as human beings, we cannot do without communication. By this, the scholar is letting us know that every situation a man finds himself on earth is communicating something.
communicates. The preacher in the book of Ecclesiastes 3:22 reinforced that by saying, "Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him?" So I say, if our Creator communicates, and the preacher in Ecclesiastes also urges us to rejoice in our own works, we will perfectly be in order if we apply the principles of strategic communication to enhance Rotary's credibility and visibility. Our elders say, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Let me share the example of a former governor in one of our states. The man won his election and was sworn in. He immediately set to work by awarding several road projects. In fact, he turned his state into a construction site, so to say. A journalist who knew him before he became governor went to him and said, "Sir, let us bring the media to signpost some of these accomplishments of yours as you flag off." The then governor simply replied, "There is no need for that. Our people are seeing what we are." Some of these measures. One, developing a global communication strategy that allows for local adaptation. Utilize translation services to communicate with non-English speaking audiences. Partner with local or clubs and districts to provide cultural insights and guidance. Developing culturally sensitive communication materials that can be adapted for different regions. The fourth challenge, changing communication landscape. The communication landscape is constantly evolving, requiring Rotary to stay up to date with the latest trends and technology. We can handle this through the following measures. By staying informed about the latest communication trends and technology. Developing a social media strategy that adapts to changing platforms and trends. Utilizing email marketing and other digital communication channels to reach stakeholders. Providing training and capacity building opportunities for Rotary communicators to stay up to date with latest trends and technology. The fifth challenge, measuring impact. Rotary always struggles to measure the impact of communication efforts, making it challenging to evaluate success. This can be further addressed by developing clear communication goals and objectives, utilizing metrics and analytics to measure communication effectiveness, conducting surveys and focus groups to gather feedback from stakeholders, developing a system to track and evaluate communication efforts. The sixth challenge is consistency. Ensuring consistency in messaging and branding across different clubs, districts, and countries can be a challenge. We can deal with their goals by taking some of the following steps. Developing a brand guide that outlines both messaging and branding. Providing training and capacity building opportunities for Rotary communicators on branding and messaging. Developing a centralized communication team to support clubs and districts. Another challenge is engaging stakeholders. Rotary may struggle to engage stakeholders, including members, volunteers, and the wider community in activities and initiatives. To handle this challenge, Rotary is trying to take some of the following steps. Developing targeted communication plans to engage specific stakeholders.
Digital communication channels to engage stories and videos to share with stakeholders. Providing opportunities for stakeholders to get involved and participate in Rotary's activities. Another challenge is digital presence. Maintaining a strong digital presence, including social media and websites, can be a challenge for Rotary clubs and districts. We can enhance these by taking some of these steps. Developing a digital communication strategy that includes social media and website guidelines. Provide training and capacity building opportunities for Rotary communicators on digital communication. Utilizing centralized digital communication tools such as Rotary's website and social media handles. Then developing engaging digital content such as stories and videos to share with stakeholders. In short, a combination of steps are required to help us strategically remain visible, attractive and alive in the eyes of the leaders and followers of today as well as that of tomorrow. For emphasis, let me highlight the key measures necessary to support our strategic communication initiatives, as included the development of communication, comprehensive communication strategy, aligned with rural strategic resources and technology to support communication initiatives, training of food
soldiers or volunteer communicators, provision of capacity building opportunities for Rotary's communicators to develop their skill and expertise, leveraging on digital communication and tapping into the energy of the youth. As I conclude, it is necessary to emphasize monitoring and evaluation. That is M&E. We must evaluate continuously. In M&E, you set the goals, you set what you want to achieve as your target, the objective of each activity. Then you get your inputs together, that is the materials you needed to achieve the activities. You evaluate the output, the outcome, and the impact implementation. That research and development is guaranteed. That will not be the portion of Rotary International. Thank you very much.
Wow, round of applause. Thank you so much, Ms. Dogolami, for that inspirational keynote speech. I would like to recognize some wonderful personalities. I would like to recognize the district Rotaract representative, Rotaract Halil Aweso. And we would like to recognize, please a round of applause for a round of applause. We would like to recognize Ambassador Elvis Iro, the editor-in-chief of the Voice News magazine, Almira, Netherlands. A round of applause for him as well. Okay. So now the time has come for us to unravel the reason why we are here today, and that is our first theme speaker. Today I believe we'll be delivering handsomely, and when I say handsomely, I'm sure some of you are already turning to this direction, and the reason is not far-fetched. It is impossible to live life now without technology. I wish to welcome to the podium the class captain of the Irresistible Presidents, last Rotary year, and the CEO, Right Wing Technology Limited, past Rotary President, His topic is using social media to amplify Rotary's positive stories. Now, this will be for 20 minutes, and of course, we'll be having a question and answer. Please, can we give them a round of applause?
Thank you for that introduction. My district governor, nominee, our DRL, PHs in the house, ages, fellow Rotarians, guests and friends. It's a pleasure to be here. I've got 20 minutes. Can you project my slide, please? Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to be sharing with us. Okay. Let me see. I don't have the power. I'm going to be sharing on amplifying Rotary's positive stories via social media. Yes. So let's move off my mic. I will not be silenced. So why does social media matter to Rotary? For various reasons. Rotary is an organization that does so much, but not a lot of our work is out there. Like the DG made mention of how he did this presentation at a bank and he was talking about this and talking about that, but he could not see that impact. And I'm sure they had looked, but they could not see that impact. And that's because we're not loud about it and our stories are silent. So it's important that we tell our stories through social media. Because today, the world that we live in, people engage more with what they can see. People engage with more of what they can feel and what they can share. Okay, so the question is, what are we sharing? What are people seeing about Rotary when they come to our platforms? So storytelling is really important as far as social media is concerned, and I believe we'll have president, public image chairs you'll be able to take one or two things away from here today. Can we go to the next slide? So what are the goals for Rotary story amplification? Why do we want to do this? Why are we particular about amplifying Rotary's image on social media? One is to inspire action. Rotary, we say we are people of action, and with social media we want to be able to use it to be able to inspire action, such that we encourage people to be involved in the things that we're sharing across all this platform. The other thing that is very important to us is to attract funding. Many of us here are Rotarians, some of us are not, but we need funding for many of the things that we do. When people do not see what we are doing, they are not able to really support, able to attract funding. And to do this, storytelling is very, very important. I'll tell you a quick story. Sometimes last Rotary year while I was president, I was trying to raise funds for the STAR project, the district STAR project, which was a neonatal building, a sickle cell building at the time. And I'd given behind the speech gavel about why it was important to support that project. And I just said nothing. And then I said, oh, no support. And nobody gave any support. So I decided to share a story. So I shared a story about sickle cell and the impact that people living with sickle cell are having, and the pain through which that they were going through having sickle cell, and what that project will achieve. Meaning that there are some people who live with sickle cell that can afford it and still go was one of the people that was touched by that story, and just by that short story we raised almost 5 million naira within that meeting. That is the impact of storytelling. So it's not just about posting, it's about storytelling. So we need to be able to tell better stories to attract funding. Okay, we also need to be able to drive pride, what it means to be part of Rotary. I love that the United President was here. That is a thing of pride, okay, that you have a Speaker of the House of Assembly as a fellow Rotarian with you. It's a thing of pride, and we should be able to use this sort of experiences and content as a thing of pride. And post, it's just unfortunate that he has left. I wanted to post a selfie with him on my personal social media handle, chilling with you, just tag him and put it there. But it's a thing of pride. We want to be able to drive pride. One of Rotary's goals is also to be able to expand our reach. Okay, so one of those goals will be to expand our reach and increase our visibility, and most importantly, show the impact of what we do. It's about impact. Rotary is about impact, and we need to be able to show our impact. So storytelling anchors, right? There are quite a number of things that we need to know when we're trying to tell our stories. Okay, one is the need. We need to first and foremost identify the challenge that the community is facing, our area is facing. The other will then be, what is our action? How are we applying our response, and what are our initiatives? And then the outcome would be showcasing our impact and the transformation it has had on various people's lives. I'll share a few case studies, which are some examples of some projects that we did and how we tell the stories. So here's a case study of a project that we did in my year while I was president. It was called Peers for Humanity. In 2023 or 2022, I think at the convention we had in Australia, I met the past district governor and I told him I will be president soon. And then he said to me, when you become president, look for fun and engaging things to do, not just the typical things that will drive attraction and membership and funding. So I started thinking about it. And one of the things that I said I was going to do was that I was going to shave my beard. My beard, as you can see, is growing now. It's part of my brand identity. It was a part of me, and I was looking to see how I can raise funds for polio. So what I did at the end of the day was created this project called Peers for Humanity, myself and members of our board at the time, right? And then we raised over $6,000 before the event. But what were we doing? I was telling stories through my personal platforms every week, every month, counting down, telling people why they needed to be a part of the project, why they needed to support it, and that I was giving part of myself away. So the event was so successful. People came. We had we raised about $6,000 for the Rotary Foundation. At the end of the day, it showcased the impact. It also showed the fun side of Rotary. It's not just business. People came. We had comedy. People had fun. and then it attracted both Rotarians and non-Rotarians. At that event, I would say it was 50% Rotarians, 50% non-Rotarians. It will interest you to note that some people joined Rotary after that particular program because they saw fun side to Rotary itself. Another example case study, we told all of these stories on social media. Okay, so all of these things, I was in Port Harcourt a few weeks ago, and then I saw people saying, oh, that's the guy, that's you, the guy that caught his beard, the guy that caught his beard. Same thing in Rotary International Convention, okay? So we're constantly telling these stories and making it relatable for people to see. Another case study of things that we did to draw people into Rotary is the family of Rotary. You see, while I was serving as president of my club the last Rotary year, something happened and my laptop was stolen in the middle of the meeting. My laptop is, I would always tell people, take my car, take my phone, but you see my laptop, don't touch it. That's how important my laptop is to me. And it was stolen at a Rotary meeting. We did use all our networks, put it out there, but we didn't find it. After the Beards for Humanity project, like I say, I didn't have beards there. Something fundamental happened. I finished presiding over the meeting, and members of my club said, oh, I should get up, and they wanted to present the gifts to me. And they presented these gifts to me, and I have the rare privilege for these gifts to be presented by our district governor, who was elect at the time, you know, and I was moved to tears. In my entire adult life, there are only very few times I've cried. I'll say this is probably the third time that I cried. Now, what happened was when I received it, I saw the laptop, you know, I saw a box. People saw there was, oh, Rotarians care about Rotarians, because it was members of my club that came together to do this. Okay, so we need to be able to share our story. So I did a voiceover narration. I'll share the links to the video and the actual comments. You see a lot of comments, particularly happy about it. So not just showcasing the project parts of things, but also showcasing the human parts of it, indicating that we care about ourselves. Next slide, please. Another good case study was the ICT lab project that we built. And I told a lot of stories, but I tried to do, so it's not just posting, it's about videos and it's about telling stories and carrying people along the way. I remember when I attended my PET some 2 years ago, our district treasurer, district secretary was telling us of the need to be able to, you know, carry people along, do before and after. And all these trainings are really important. Please take as much as you can, because you don't know where you would use them or how you use them. So I took that lesson, my dears, very seriously, you know, documenting every journey along the way. So I'd gone to this particular project site about 2 years ago, and I'd engaged with some young children, and I'd asked them about what they wanted to be when they grew up. Sadly, none of them told me about anything around technology. You know, and I asked them, oh, why are you not saying this, why are you not saying that? Engineering, they said, no, that they've not used computers before. I said, you have a computer in this school, why are you not using those computers? I said, it's for the senior secondary school, they are from the junior secondary school, because my club, 5 years prior to then, I donated an ICT laboratory to them. So I made them a promise. I said, you know what, in a few months, I'll become president. And when I become president, I'll build an ICT laboratory. This experience I told as a story, okay? And I was raising funds. We're raising funds. Before I became president, we had raised almost 10 million or thereabouts because of that particular project, okay? Because I started telling stories about that particular school. As we're going along the way, I was telling stories, and we executed that project successfully without stress on members of the club, okay? But from funding from various partners because of the stories we were telling about the project and who would benefit from it. I used myself as a case study at the time, talking about how technology had changed the trajectory of my life, and I know the impact of technology in young people's lives. And I kept on telling this story. So it spoke about why it was done. I shared the story of why I wanted to do the ICT project. It wasn't just an ICT project, but there was a story behind it, there was a reason behind it. It showed who it would benefit and the impact. It was going to, over the course of the next 5 years, we had estimated that over 4,000 people would have benefited from this particular facility and then the transformation. So we did the before footage, after completion, and we captured the excitement of these people, and then we posted all of this on social media. Next slide, please. So you can see these are some of the different stages. I didn't want to bore us with time. There are various stages of this project that we have on videos that were on our social media platform. So people kept on saying it, and the strategy that worked, okay? So storytelling has helped many stakeholders see, trust, and believe in the project. Also because people begin to see that this is where the money is going to, and people want to be part of something that is impactful. So cross-platform storytelling strategy. Part of what you can begin to do is to use your personal handles. Everyone should use their personal handles. But when the DJ was talking about his experience this morning, you know, part of what we can do to ensure that we maximize that visibility is that we need to collaborate. Okay, so if you're using Instagram, you're using YouTube, it gives you the ability to be able to collaborate. I know that the district, if you tag them, they will approve it. Okay, so as you're posting on your social media, if you are the chair for club image for your club, tag the district. What that will do is to benefit both parties, okay? It will, if maybe for example, I have an audience of maybe 20,000, okay? And the district has an audience of maybe 5,000, right? If I tag the districts in my post, I collaborate with them, I have exposed their 5,000 followers to my 20,000 followers, and it also works vice versa. So it's one of the ways through which we can maximize our visibility, okay? On our personal handles, on our club pages, and our district pages. Now design, I'm particularly excited about the designs I've seen here today. They are beautiful, they are stunning. I want to commend the Public Image Committee. Please give them a round of applause. And I also love the ambience of this place. I must say it's chilly. I don't know why it's so chill. I don't know if it's weather assisted, but I love the way that I'm feeling here today. So in designing, so the design so far has been good, but there are several tools that can help you come up with really great designs. And also with the power of artificial intelligence today, you could use AI. One of such tools is Canva, okay? Offers a lot of free templates that you can leverage. Next slide. Now, we have to talk about content format. There are various types of content formats that get shared. One is short reels. People's attention span is really short. If something is too long, you can ask yourself, if you're watching something, if it's too long, you skip, you go to the next thing, because there's so much information out there. So if you created a story you want to share, you have to see how you can cut it, or maybe start with something called a hook, okay? Start with a hook that will make people want to stay. So create short reels. They are quick, engaging clips that can capture immediate audience. So something that is 5 minutes, so you can shorten it to maybe 1 or 2 minutes. You get more engagement that way. And before and after visuals, they are very effective. Like I said, I learned from DS during my pets. So it shows the project, the impact and the effectiveness. People would want to be able to participate in the future. Also show appreciation videos, showing gratitude to partners. So when we've worked with a partner that has supported us or collaborated with us, let us show that on the platform. It allows us to get more from other people. Like he said, they said, what's in it for us? How many followers? So when we appreciate others that we have worked with, others that want to come with us, would also see that they would also be appreciated. Let's also share stories for some of the beneficiaries. People that have, you know, I was here yesterday for Interact session. I do hope, I was working out, but you know, sharing stories and testimonies. One of the 2 young folks came to meet me and said they were really inspired by the session that I had with them yesterday, and they wanted to do this, wanted to do that. Those kind of sessions, you should be interviewed and shared on platforms, and people will say, oh, it's Rotarians that are making this impact in the lives, you know, of these people. Member spotlight, it's important to also highlight individual achievements as well. You know, recently, members of my club went on a visit to visit a customs official who recently became promoted to the top, you know, and we posted it on social media, right? Because it was an achievement of him. Rotarian Bawa, what's his position again? The deputy customs deputy controller, you know, so it's the controller, yeah, you know, it's an I. So we went there on a courtesy visit. right? You know, to show our appreciation and support, and also posted that on social media. What that does for us is people see that Rotarians are not ordinary people. They see that we have quality members, and it also drives membership attraction. So we should use social media to highlight our projects, do partnership tagging, youth spotlight, member spotlight, and community engagement. Next slide, please. Now, there are ethics and global standards that we need to bear in mind. We're in a world whereby data is very, very key, and data privacy is also very, very key. Myself, the DG, and some of us were in Zurich, the Rotary headquarters recently, you know, and they took a lot of pictures and videos of us. And just before we were leaving, they brought some papers for all of us to sign, which was consent that indemnifies them should they use our images on their platforms. Okay, so let's get consent where applicable. We can create different forms of that. Let's also dignify our beneficiaries. We shouldn't put content that, you know, dehumanizes per se. You know where I'm coming from. And let's avoid data careless exposure of data, and let's use clear, heart-led, heart-touched storytelling strategies. Next slide. Let's amplify our gratitude loudly, okay? Let's make some noise. So let's post our gratitude, let's tag collaborators, and let's share our stories consistently, not occasionally. With AI, we can go to ChatGPT to give you a content calendar. It can give you a content calendar for the whole month, identify notable days, give you content ideas that could be used. So let's share our stories consistently and not occasionally. Next slide. So I know we have club presidents and Rotarians. So what should we do? What should be our next step? One, let's capture stories of during and after for projects. Let's post the needs. Let's post when we've come into action, and let's also post the outcome. And at the end of the day, we'll do one post that ties all of it together. Let's empower our media sub-teams in our club. I want to commend the District Public Image Committee. I love what I see. I see my DG in action. I see I'm not the DG. I am the friend of the DG. I'm not all of those things are all jumping on trends, okay? You know, because he also humanizes the brand. Let's post member appreciation moment, like you said, and let's archive content for future use. After the meeting we had, my DG, remember, I can't remember the club that hosted us. You know, they asked for, you know, I went for the meeting, so they asked for projects that were done in the past, and I sent a video that we did like 4 years ago about our neonatal project, which was available on YouTube, and they were so touched by it. Imagine if I had not posted that on YouTube. So it allows for future collaboration. So archive all your content, post them on social media. So we are people of action. Now let's also be people of story. Thank you so very much.
Wow, please another round of applause. Wow, that was explosive. That was explosive. Well, at this point, I would like to recognize PAG Busola Satuyi, our Chief of Staff. Please let's give a round of applause. A delectable personality. Thank you so much for all you do for Rotary. And also, at this point, I would like to invite Honorable Gbenga Omotosho, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lagos State. Please let's invite him warmly to the stage for his address. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation today. We appreciate you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Rotary President, all of the distinguished guests who are here. It's a very beautiful day in Lagos today. The sun is shining very brightly. I've just come from an event where I met with young people who did well in quiz competition. I gave out prizes, and as I was there, I was monitoring what was going on here for me to be able to come in and deliver this address. I'm supposed to give a keynote address. While Mr. Ogunleye was speaking, I caught a few things. The kind of thing that you get in a master class in journalism. It's unfortunate he has left, but honestly, he did a damn good job. My own is to present a keynote address. A keynote address is something that sets the stage for what we have had. So with the Mr. Ogunleye's speech, it's like having the dessert before the actual dinner. But I will still make the points that I need to make in a keynote address, setting the stage for the kind of thing that we are having here today, kind of seminar for image makers. So like I said, it's a very beautiful day today in Lagos. So I'm very honored, highly honored to be speaking with you on how to strengthen Rotary's credibility and visibility through strategic and powerful communication. That is what I've been asked to speak about. And one thing that I usually tell our people, because I'm also in the industry, and the kind of work that I do, I communicate every day, and it's part of me. When you are in a formal setting, people always write things to everybody and say to the general public. And when I see such things, I feel that we are really going to the past and not moving with the times. So people in this group, they should realize that gone are the days of addressing the general public. There is no more general public anywhere. Every public has its own character. Every public has its own accent. Every public has its own values that it cherishes. So if you want to communicate with anybody at all, try to go directly. If you are talking to a group of drivers, address them as a group of professionals who are drivers, or talking to doctors, talking to the engineers. Forget about the idea of saying general public. So as Rotarians, you are part of a global community that brings people together to make a difference. And your work is built on unity, trust, integrity, and a commitment to serving others. But in today's fast-paced, media-driven world, today's tech world, it's not enough just for you to do good. You need to share your stories. You need to communicate. Strategic communication is key to building awareness, fostering understanding, and inspiring actions. Strategic communication is the heartbeat of your mission, pulsating life into our vision of a world where people unite to make a difference. By sharing your stories, highlighting your achievements, and showcasing the impact of your work, you can amplify Rotary's voice and reach new audiences and build unity and trust among humanity. It's about instilling a sense of community belonging in our activities. It's about instilling institutional leadership in the upcoming generation. It's about love, about peace, understanding, and unity. It's about laying the important foundation for any relationship, which is communication, and its responsibility for our actions and services. But it's not just about broadcasting your message alone. It's about listening, engaging, and building long-lasting relationships. It's about being authentic, being transparent, being original and accountable. It's about standing for what you believe in, that is what is right all the time. It's about putting in maximum effort for a better world through peace and unity. It's about using our collective power to drive for positive change, what impacts society and the world. We have an incredible chance to show the world what we are made of: compassion, kindness, and a passion for making a difference. As Rotarians, I think you should come together and share your stories, your triumphs, and your struggles, as Rotarian Ogunleye has demonstrated in a fantastic manner. You should amplify your impacts and make your voices heard. You share the power to inspire, to motivate, and to shape lives. So, tell your stories, be proud of what you are doing and what you should do, and let's make Rotary a name that sparks hope and transformation ideas of many, especially non-Rotarians. Distinguished Rotarians, communication is the art of sharing information, ideas, and values in a way that builds understanding and trust. It is not merely about speaking or writing. It is about connecting hearts and minds. When communication is deliberate, when it's intentional and purposeful, and aligned with clear objectives, it becomes strategic communication. Strategic communication is therefore the intentional use of messages, platforms, and channels to shape perception, inspire confidence, and strengthen credibility. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the foundation upon which successful organizations are built. Rotary International, with its global presence, must continue to tell its story in ways that inspire trust and confidence. The Rotary Club should be intentional and strategic in its communication. It should not generalize its communication. Rather, it should be specific, targeting particular audiences. Additionally, the club should begin to lay greater emphasis on its impact in society. Yes, you can see and feel diverse impact of the club all around the city and nation, but it's important that the club also strategically communicates. The Holy Book says you cannot light a candle and put it under the table. Nobody will see it. Apart from the fact that it's not going to light others when it's under the table, people will not see it, and the effect of lighting the candle will not be there. For instance, if the club adopts a school, a garden, or a playground, it must ensure that they are well maintained. I've passed through a couple of gardens here in Lagos adopted by Rotary, and they are not well maintained. It's not every time that you talk, or you hold the microphone, or you get onto the radio or television that you are communicating. There are images that communicate, that stand for who we are, that stand for what we do, that stand for what we believe in. If you have a garden that Rotary Club is maintaining, that garden speaks a lot about who Rotarians are. And such gardens, they communicate so much about who you are than somebody holding the microphone and shouting. But people pass through that place every day, every second, and they see the situation of the garden, and they see the Rotary sign there. So, this is also strategic communication, which you have to note. Also, Rotary Club should find a way to make the people tell their stories, the impact on their lives that Mr. Rotarian Ogunleye has shown. As I had said earlier, this club is doing much to affect lives from what I have seen. That is quite good. However, the club must make beneficiaries of their several humanitarian activities to tell the stories by themselves. That way, the impact will be much and the reach better. That again, in my own view, is strategic communication. Added to this is the need for the club to be more inclined to embracing technology in its activities. We are in a world that is being consistently defined and redefined by technology. Today, people are talking about AI, and there is so much here in the world. that the way we are going, you have AI, people are afraid that it will take away their jobs. People are afraid that everything that human beings are doing now, that machines will begin to do them. And they are already doing that, including having surgeries. Machines are taking surgeries now that people used to do manually. And apart from that, there is also the fear that the way humanity is going, that one day we may do a machine that may take away the whole of humanity. Up to today, people are saying so many things about COVID-19, how it all began. Some are saying it began in somebody's kitchen, they put together some things. Others are saying in somebody's laboratory, that certain things were put together and pushed out of the world, and all the way from China, the whole world began to feel the effect of COVID-19. So today, the jury is still out there about what actually happened and what is likely to happen. We spoke about Ebola, we spoke about COVID-19. Nobody knows what is going to come next. Now we are talking about AI, and that AI, the way things are going, may be capable of wiping out humanity. So, anybody who is not talking technology now is not being serious at all. So I urge the Rotary Club to be more technologically inclined in all its activities. In Lagos State, we have embraced the truth wholeheartedly. Our government has deliberately positioned communication as a pillar of governance, ensuring that every policy, every initiative, every action, and every achievement, no matter how modest or remarkable, is clearly conveyed to the people. We have institutionalized grassroots engagements. We have many fora where government officials meet directly with citizens to explain policies, to listen to their comments, and build inclusivity. I do not know how much of this engagement with non-Rotarians that Rotarians do. Most of the time when I go for events of the Rotary Club, when I get invited like this, most of the people that I meet there, they are Rotarians. And that gives the impression that the club may not be that all-inclusive. It gives the impression that the club may belong to people who are, very big on whatever you think that makes a class in society, and that are not really welcoming others, whereas we know it is not so. And why is it that this strong impression is created by people and having it in their mind? Is because of strategic communication. And like I said, meeting non-Rotarians periodically is also part of strategic communication. Ladies and gentlemen, these efforts demonstrate that communication is not an afterthought. It is a deliberate strategy to build trust, foster inclusivity, and strengthen the bond between government and the people. Rotary must embrace this approach, as I said, investing in communication infrastructure, empowering members to be storytellers, and leveraging both traditional and digital media to amplify its impact. Mr. Ogle spoke about data. It's a lot. If you want to be believed in today's world, that what you are saying is the correct thing, you must arm yourself with data. Like this popular saying, that my boss, for example, when people meet him, they say you are doing a lot, but people don't know. What is it that your communication people are doing? And I said to one of them who spoke like that, what you should do is that, there's this popular saying, that all of us will believe in God. All others, apart from God, must bring data. It is data that can convince you. So in communicating what Rotary Club is doing, data is very, very important. We have excess so number of people. This is the number of projects we have done for this year. How many people have been impacted? We put the figure there. So people believe in such things, especially nowadays that people's attention span is very, very short. We also spoke about storytelling. There is no way of convincing people, no better way of convincing people about the good intentions of Rotary that is stronger than storytelling. And in storytelling, it's not just members of the club telling the story, but people whose lives have been touched. They should be the ones telling the story. And in today's digital world, if you tell a story in Nigeria, in a matter of seconds, it's done all over the world. And you can see the marriage between storytelling and digital life. So like he said, we have to be very, very active online. And whatever we do, let us avoid things like general public, to whom it may concern. No, just say who it will concern in everything that you do. Nowadays, a phrase, any small phrase, everything may become one very big communication tool. You will know. So when you are writing or you are speaking, you have to be very, very confident that what you are doing and saying will be able to achieve the right goal. Ladies and gentlemen, I will like to conclude by saying that as we celebrate Rotary's noble values, we should remember that visibility and trust are earned through consistent, transparent, and strategic communication. You have to be telling your story all the time, because people, permit me to say this, are very hard of hearing nowadays. I'm confident that this seminar will spark fresh ideas and inspire all of us to take the message of effective communication back to our various clubs, communities, and institutions. Distinguished rhetoricians, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to deliver this keynote address, and I hope my words will encourage you to continue to promote the noble ideas and values of Rotary International. Thank you for this.
We can do better than that for Mr. Commissioner. That was Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lagos State, Honorable Gbenga Omotosho. Fantastic. Thank you so very much, sir. Storytelling. Back in the days, hello. We have storytellers here. Thank you very much. You know, I was telling our next team speaker, I said, you would have been speaking now, but you know, the commissioner is here. He said, yeah, it's our guy now. Yeah, it's our guy. Our guy is speaking, you must listen. Thank you so very much. That was very fantastic. That was information packed. And quite honestly, you were talking about Rotary. You were really talking about Rotary. So I hope that before you leave here today, our DG, the Prince of Impact, will put a Rotary pin on you, sir. Mr. Commissioner, sir. I hope that my DG will put a Rotary pin on you before you leave here today. Thank you so very much. All right, before I call our next team speaker, can we just be upstanding a bit for a second? We have been sitting for a long time. And Mr. Commissioner, I think this is part of communication. It's also part of communication. So let's do some stretches. Let's just stretch. Turn here. Turn there. If you can. I've done 100 press up this morning. I'm not asking you to do press up. You can just go down and up. Go down and up. It's called a technical break. Go down and up. Thank you so very much. You can have your seat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the second team speaker that I'm going to bring up has spent years in the Nigerian corporate corridors and needs very little introduction. He will be teaching us on how to use Rotary strategy in telling Rotary stories for impact and credibility. You hear storytelling again. He's no other than Mr. Muyiwa Akonde, Group Head, Corporate Affairs, CFAX Group. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him to take the microphone. We can do better than that. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, you have 20 minutes. I believe you'll be able to do that in 20 minutes. And you have another 5 minutes for question and answer. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon. Okay, it's afternoon now. Okay. Let me start with my Oga. I sat with him and asked somebody to take my picture with him because 2001 I got a job as a reporter in the Comment newspaper, and who was my title editor? Mr. Gbenga Omotosho. So now sit down with Oga. Thank you so much for your impact in those days of little beginning. I'm so grateful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And of course, my institute chapter chairman is here, Dr. Samuel Ayetutu. Thank you, sir. And of course, I met the district governor, who happens to be graduated from one of the best universities in Nigeria, University of Ilorin. And I'm also proud to be an alumnus of the school. So the district governor, Rotarians, the guests, everybody, I'm so glad to be here this afternoon. They made my job so difficult. I'm telling you, after Mr. Ogule, Mr. Akimade, and of course, the boss, almost everything I wanted to say, they have said. But I will try a little bit. Thank you. Can I go to the next slide? So I will do some definitions very quickly because of the topic I have, using PR strategy. Okay, that will be fine. That will be fine. So I will just do some definitions on the topic given to me, using PR strategy to tell the story of Rotary for impact and credibility. Let's start with storytelling. They've said so much about that. That is, you know, as Africans, we love stories. You know, in the days of our fathers, after they have worked so well all through the day, in the evening, they will gather their family members to tell stories, to teach lessons. And brands, organizations, personal brands have also latched on this very wonderful tool to connect with audiences. Of course, clarity is in my topic, and that's just getting the message across clearly without less of jargons. So that's what clarity talks about. Then of course, impact, strong effect or influence that something or somebody has on something or someone. And the last one there, which I would like us to take note, is credibility. There is no way as a person or organization you will go far in fulfilling your objective if you are not credible. People must be able to trust you, believe in you, and that has to do a lot with what you do, what you say, where you go, those you associate with, the bond that is your word. Let's go to the next one. Next slide, please. Okay, PR strategy. What are we talking about? What does this mean, and how does this sit in telling the story of Rotary? PR strategies are nothing but plans to build and maintain positive public image. Let me stay there. positive public image. What does that mean? What you communicate to the people, what you want people to believe about you. That is public image. And note the use of the word positive. The image must be positive. What people perceive about your organization must be positive. So that means intentionally you must craft the image that you want people to registered about you in the minds of your stakeholders. So everything you do, how you do it, where you do it, how you communicate it, all come together to define your image. And of course, you can't talk about public relations strategy without talking about relationship building. Because every organization, every brand, every person has what we call the publics or the stakeholders. People who are affected about your activity, or people who retain interest, groups, individuals that retain interest in your company. So you must build relationship with them through intentional communication. That means it must be deliberate, not what happens as an afterthought. And of course, we have seen the stakeholders of Rotary, because we are talking about Rotary International members, the leadership, partners, organization, donors, communities, even the media. The media is very critical, particularly now that we're talking about public relations and the strategy that are necessary. One thing is to have a PR strategy, the other is to have effective strategies. Because we're not talking about information, informing. We are talking about understanding, and understanding sits in the place of effective strategies. When you are communicating with your audiences, what should be at the back of your mind is not only to inform them, but for them to elicit understanding from the messages that you are passing across. And that is why the issue of strong narrative comes in. What is the message that you are passing across to your stakeholders? And of course, we know about channels, social media. Thank God for Rotarian Ogule, who has done justice to the use of technology to pass our messages. The next slide. Then let's talk about what are the core elements of a PR strategy. Number one, and I think a few of the speakers have also mentioned this, you must understand your audience, understand your stakeholders. Remember that we have mentioned some of them in the previous slide. We talk about members, we talk about leadership, we talk about communities, we talk about donors, we talk about partner agencies. These are the different stakeholders of Rotary International, and you must understand the interest that each of them retains or has in your organization. The interest of a donor is different from the interest of the communities you are serving. It is different from the interest of your members. So you must be able to segment the interest of each person, understand their interest, because that will help you when you are crafting your message. The message to a donor is different from the message that will interest your beneficiaries. So you must understand your audience very well, because that will determine even the communication style, even the channels that you will deploy rather in reaching out to them. The second one is you must define your goals. Your PR strategy starts with a goal. This campaign, what do we seek to achieve? Are we trying to create brand awareness around Rotary? Let people know more about our organization. Or do we want people to have understanding about our project? What are we about? What are our mission? What are the projects that we work on? What are the impacts that we have had over the years? So you must define your goals, because this is necessary, because as you will see in the last line there is what we call monitor and evaluation, because both of them are linked. But before let's talk about build relationship, we have mentioned this. You must build relationship across your stakeholders, and in this case the most important relationship will be our media. And I'm happy that some of our media men are here this morning. They are key in telling our stories. So that's why you must build genuine, authentic relationship with members of the press. Of course, you have to develop content. That is very key. Use different platforms. Stay proactive. And the last one, I'll just talk about that. You must measure. You must measure your campaign. That's why your goal must be smart from the beginning. What do I want to achieve? So that when you are done or along the line, you can measure your achievement, your results, your outcome against the goal that you have set for yourself. Let's go to the next one. So these are the core elements of strategy. Why do we tell story? Why does organization like Rotary needs to tell story? Number one, because it builds trust. Some of the speakers have mentioned trust this morning. Because without trust, people cannot do business with you. Organization will not partner with you. Even prospective members will not join. Like we're trying to bring in our boss this morning. You understand? You must build trust. You must tell your story. People want to know about you. They want to know what you do. They want to know the impact that you are doing, so that they can evaluate whether to join, whether to support, whether to provide visibility for you. So you must build up. You must share your story, and do that through storytelling. Amplifies member stories. You know, in most cases, organizations, brands, they focus on the corporate. And I'm an apostle of a 360-degree communication. You see banks in the last financial year, we recorded this amount of money, profit. But the question you ask, were recorded by machines? No. There were people behind those success stories. We must also develop this as part of the strategy of Rotary. We must tell the stories of our members. Thank God Mr. Ogunleye mentioned that. Either their contribution to the Rotary as an organization, or even their personal life, we must be able to highlight their success stories. Then of course we need to tell story, because we need to engage communities and potential members as well. Let's go quickly. Of course, we need to elevate credibility through storytelling and highlight real stories of change. You know, when I researched about, I was so glad when I saw the areas of impact, key intervention areas of Rotary, from peace and conflict resolution to disease prevention, treatment, water and sanitation. So much. And there are stories. These are content pillars for Rotary to create impactful stories. You are working in that your local community. Day and night you are making impact. These are reasons why you need to let people know about these real stories. Because you are making impact, and that, the commissioner mentioned that. If you wink in the dark, nobody knows what you are doing. It is a waste of time. And you have enough pillars to build your story around. And the next one is not about telling stories alone. More of impact stories. It's good to let people know. We were in this community last week. We provided water. Last year we did this. But what happened? What are the stories after those information was shared with the community? with your audience? Do you go back into that community a year after, 2 years after, to go and see the impact of your project? Before your intervention, they were drinking from streams, but now you have provided water for them. Do you go back 1 year after and feature real people who have benefited and do what Rotarians call the before and after? Ask questions. The level of disease go down now because they now have access to clean water? That is the kind of impact that connects beyond. We go to a community, we provide water, we say thank you, you have done that, but people want to see impact. And that's the kind of story that connects with people easily. So Rotary must make it as part of their prayer strategy to tell impactful story, not only about the project you have done, but the outcomes of those projects. It's more impactful telling story from that angle than just let people know that we went to this community, we did A, B, 2, A, B, C, D there. So there must be a focus and testimonial from beneficiaries. Let them tell the story from their own angle. Do less of you telling the story, but let it come from people who have benefited. Third party testimonial are more powerful than when you tell your story. So let people tell their story to build authenticity. Let's go to the next one. Then I'll just speak on this briefly. We call it, how do you now craft your story so that it can be impactful? In storytelling, there are so many frameworks, but I'll talk about the Hero Journey framework, one of them. It calls the CSO framework. When you want to craft your story, start with the challenge. Let your audience know where the story started from. What was the problem in that community prior to your intervention? Then you go to the solution after that, showcase what Rotary has done to bring succor to that community or to that challenge. And after that, the outcome, show measurable impact and personal transformation. Please, if you don't get anything from my presentation, please let this be what you take home. Because this is like the framework for an impactful storytelling. Let people know what the challenge is. Tell them how Rotary has brought solutions, unique solutions. Then end it up with measurable outcome. How those solutions have brought tangible impact to those communities, to those people. Please, next slide. I will leave this because Mr. Ogunleye did a good justice to this. Let's move. It's just about how to use social media, and of course, we can use all of this traditional platform, because, like we said, I started with audience segmentation. There are still people, they still get their whatever you like to say about the dwindling fortune of newspaper. There are some people who are still loyal and committed. You must read that hard copy. Please reach them. They are part of your stakeholders. Let's go to the next one. Then, of course, this is very critical. Visuals and emotional connection is one thing that we can't but talk about, and broadcast medias give us that platform to connect at that level. So video storytelling is very important. Let's develop short and powerful narrative for TV and radio segment, and of course interviews with beneficiaries, they're also very good. Next one, I'm running because of time. I would like to stay with this a little bit. Engaging members as ambassadors. I think one of the things we must incorporate to our parent strategy is how do we turn our members not only as members but our voice. Members must become an ambassador of Rotary. Wherever you find yourself, part of your message must be that of Rotary. Anywhere. So please, let's train our member in effective communication and storytelling. You are part of a project. Don't wait for your organization to do that alone. In your own, share your own personal experience being part of that Rotary project in that community. Share the story. Share pictures from that event. You are functioning as an ambassador. Then a local project on social media and community outlets. Mr. Blair mentioned that, and let's foster a culture of transparency and pride. You must be proud that you belong to a member, to this club. I know of a friend, I'm not sure if it is Rotary or another club. Anywhere in the whole world you see the guy, he will travel with his lapel. He will take picture in the plane with special focus on the lapel. He goes for international conference, he will share everywhere. At time I was say, plus now you the only person who did this club. Say no, say I will carry this thing on my head. You must develop pride in the impact you are making. So your social handles should also be platform to tell the story, even if it is that of your local community or your local club. Please, members must become Rotary ambassadors. You must function in that life. Anywhere and everywhere you find yourself, every resources you have must be deployed to tell the story of Rotary. Let's go. I'm running up now, and of course, I mentioned that at the heart of PR strategy is media relations and PR planning. So please, let's establish a good connection with local journalists and editors. This is not a media relation class, but the truth is that build genuine relationship with the media, because the platform, or one of the platforms through which you tell your stories, genuine, mutually beneficial. You must learn how to connect with them. It's not a problem telling stories. If you're able to bring them on your side, let them see the impact you are making and show that you are really you are ready to make them partners. Of course, you can use press release, media advisory, and personalized pitches. Of course, timeline, align with club event. Then, of course, monitor media coverage. This is very important. Even as people, as information go out, you release press release, you provide pitches. You must make sure that you are not misrepresented. That is very, very important, so you can adjust and work on the feedback. Let's go to the next one. I'm rounding off. Of course, you must measure the impact of every of your campaign. Track mentions, collect testimonials, use data. I think the commissioner mentioned that data is very, very important. People want to see. You can make a claim, but until data is provided, credibility is not assured. Then, of course, share stories internally to motivate members and externally to attract partners. The next slide, I'm rounding off now. Increase impact by showcasing evidence-based results. Enhance participant engagement by sharing member experiences. Expand it through diverse storytelling channels and inclusive narrative. Then, of course, adapt their tactics to evolving media landscape and audience preferences. Because how your audiences want to receive messages might be different. For younger audiences, reaching them on TV is a waste of time. You know where to reach them. Even if you drill a lot lower, you still find out there are studies that show where you have women, the platform that they prefer, where you have 18 to 5, male. So you must understand and adapt your tactics. The next slide. Call to action as a member or as a leader. Share your club's unique stories with passion and authenticity. Use print, broadcast, and digital media to amplify Rotary's mission and achievement. inspire your community and fellow Rotarians to become people of action. Together, let's build lasting impact and break through the power of storytelling. Last slide now, last slide. This is my conclusion. Data-driven storytelling to highlight impact and grow. I mentioned you can't run away from data. This is a generation where people ask questions. The era is gone. That's why you see scrutiny of, I don't want to mention our pastors. People, you say something, people will go, they will be people in service. One my Google message here, is this true? So it must be factual and it must be data driven so that you can't do anything to data. Data is the truth, except if it is manipulated. Expand partnership with media and influencers to broaden your reach. Continuously innovate communication tools to engage new generations across generations. Your story, your voice, your action can inspire millions. A story well told can bring a whole lot of people into your net, into your membership net, into your donation drive net. A story well told. Together we can strengthen Rotary's credibility and visibility worldwide. Let's communicate with clarity, passion, and purpose to create lasting change. Last slide. Thank you.
Wow, a round of applause. Thank you so much, Mr. Akonde. That was an insightful lecture. Well, at this point, the floor is open for question and answer. We have had so far wonderful speakers, and I'm sure they are ready to answer your questions. So please, if you have a question, kindly raise your hand up, and I'll pass yes, for any of the speakers who have spoken so far, I'll come forward to pass the mic. Okay? My co-MC will do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you go first.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, sir. Our honorable speakers, the DG, distinguished contractors, Rotarian contractors, guests and friends. I'm Rotary Fauzia, the district leadership and professional development team. So the first speaker is not around, but I have a question for him, but I'll skip that part and go to the second question. So I realized that recently, as a contractor, the storytelling part was not much thing that we do. And when I got the information that our speakers have been saying, I was just reflecting on it. And I remember vividly when I posted on my LinkedIn. Now my question is coming towards LinkedIn. Many contractors do not even have LinkedIn accounts. Same, a lot of people right here as well. And I posted about, that was during membership month. I posted about how I joined Rotaract and what led me to Rotaract and why I'm still in the family. And then I realized that the Roche International handler loved my message, commented on my message, reposted my message, and I got global connection via this post. Now, and I remember vividly when the first speaker was talking about storytelling. I didn't just post about the story that I joined Rotaract. I was telling the story why I joined Rotaract and why I'm still in the family. Now the question is, how can we support Rotarians, Rotaractors, guests and friends to ensure that they are still using their LinkedIn well for those that are using it? And those that don't have it, how can we encourage them to have a LinkedIn account? And also the other social media platform, how can they manage it? This question is for Mr. Muyiwa Akonde. And then the second one is, we are in the info era and a lot of information.
Please, let's make this very brief. Thank you.
A lot of information are out there that are not right. How can we remove the best one and use the best one? That's it. Thank you.
All right. Are we ready to answer that question?
Let's wrap up the question.
Okay.
My district governor, all the protocols duly observed. I actually had a question on analytics, which I think is related to what she's just asked. But with the last speaker's presentation, I think answered all of that. And I'm grateful for the class. Now, my second question, not really a question, it's like an appeal. Storytelling is big. I'll tell you that for free because I'm into education. And I know when we were growing up, we were taught composition. Teachers would tell us what to write, and then we go out there to reproduce. We're in the era of creative writing, which is what we do now. And storytelling is not very easy. With I'm taking away I'm taking away the framework that the last speaker has given to us, and I'm thinking that is it possible for us to have a workshop where we can actually do this and then also come up with our own projects as well as a sign to show that yes, this is really done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And this will be the last one.
All protocols are well and duly observed. My name is Dr. Prince Filonyeka. My question is quite simple. I want to ask the speaker today, what are your thoughts on influencer marketing? Because we're in an era of influencing. We are in an era of influencers. And how can we build more Rotaractors and Rotarians to become global influencers? Thank you.
Okay, so those are the questions. I believe our speakers are ready to, okay? My United DG.
I think the second question was asking about how we, hello, the second speaker. I think your question is about how we could organize a workshop to, okay, that one is out of what our speakers group, so that would be an internal demos. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Two questions here. I think the first one is how to encourage members to share stories. Maybe I will share a personal experience. In my own team, I encourage my team members that at least once in a week, particularly on LinkedIn, is more or less like a law. Share a story. And at times what I do, I also provide story ideas, because we hold our meetings on a Monday. Part of the things we do, we generate story ideas. Maybe we can give this and maybe we can give this task to the public image committee. You can make it part of your task to generate story ideas for members. Like what I just mentioned, you are part of a project. You work so hard, either as part of the committee or whatever. Let's encourage members. This project, go out, give them the pictures from the event. Consciously ask them to share their stories. So we can do that. The public image can have to their task generating content stories or content ideas which can be shared with members. So through that way, we can encourage them. So I think that's one of the things we can do. Help them. Then even at the personal level, you can also take it upon yourself. Remember I mentioned the issue of being an ambassador. If you see yourself as an ambassador of Rotary and you believe in the mission, you won't need to wait for people to push you to tell the story of this organization. So that's number one. That's about how to encourage members to share their stories. And number two, influencer marketing. I actually want to talk about that. I'm not sure I forgot. And I was trying to say one of the best ways we can do that is to target this influencer to become a member. Let me give you an instance. Let's assume a Sabinus is a member of Rotary Club, or a Macaroni is a member. Do you think the organization will struggle to get its message out there. These are people that have views of millions each of their videos. So that's number one. We can help you, we can reach out to them, make a conscious effort to reach out to them, because apart from the fact that we want them to be part of what we're doing, we know the value they can bring to the organization in terms of creating visibility for the organization. So we can do that. And of course, members, we don't need to struggle when we have our members who are also doing well, they have the numbers, just to encourage them to ensure that the activities, news, information about the organization is shared. But targeting this influencer, because if you go through the route of partnering with them, the cost is very huge. They charge in millions. I've tried a bit, Abi. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, right about now. Well, does that cover all the questions? Okay, all right, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, right about now would also bring in, for the next theme speaker for today. He is a consummate communicator. And that's what he does reveals him. Fellow Rotarians and guests, let's welcome the representative of Mr. John Ajayi, publisher of Marketing Edge. His representative is here, and he will be taking us through strategic media engagement and Rotary brand. Let's put our hands together to Mr. Ralph Tatagata. Mr. Ralph Tatagata. Isn't that name interesting? All right, so I think it should attract some great applause. Let's put our hands together for it. Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, sir, for pronouncing that name correctly. Let me start by apologizing to the district governor on behalf of my publisher, John Ajayi. I don't know if I'm going to commit an infraction by addressing you as Rotarian, because I love the way you guys address yourself as Rotarian. Oh, wow. As you were addressing yourself, I felt like becoming a member of a 120-year organization, a legacy brand, you know, the heritage that is attached to the brand. And when he was speaking, he mentioned 1.4 million members of the organization. And as a brand and a strategic brand and marketing person, the next thing that came to my mind was, wow, how could one leverage a 1.4 million members all over the world, domesticate it, bring it down home to District 9111, and use it to actually promote the brand at the local level. That was a thought, and it has been going on in my mind on how to make use of that. Maybe I can share that after this presentation. From my introduction, please go to the next slide. I also observed that it's more of a catechism, that all of you know everything about the history of this brand, right, you know, offhand and all of that. So I will go to please go to credibility. Let me just take it from credibility, because the 4-point trust is well known to the House and all of that. Now, building credibility. I think that is exactly, okay, let me also say something about brand heritage. The brand is 120 years, fine and good. But there is something with an old brand. It could be 200 years, it could be 1,000 years. For example, you have the Bible, as we all know it today. And let me also digress a little bit by saying that we are all stories, and we are all going to end up as stories. What we are doing here today is going to be documented as stories. It's going to be known as stories. But how it will resonate in the next 100 years will depend on how it is documented, exactly our activities here today. So, having said that, when a brand, no matter how old a brand is, if you don't rejuvenate it, if you don't rebrand it, if you don't keep managing it and communicating it, chances are that that brand might be 1,000 years without having relevance. So, on that note, let me now go to credibility, because if the foundation of a brand is not credible, chances are that that brand may have little or no impact. And I will also use an analogy within my own field, which is more of product brand and what it takes for consumers. If a consumer walks into a shop and is rummaging through the shelf, something actually pushes the consumer to make a choice. For example, if you want to get a margarine brand and you walk into a shop, then you have Blue Band, you have Kings, you have some other brands. Let me not just mention those names. It is the particular brand, the top of the mind brand, the brand, whether through radio, through television, through newspaper, through whatever means that comes to the mind, that the consumer is going to go first to pick, even if you have about 10 or 20 of those brands on the shelf. Now, when it comes to credibility, if a brand does not have credibility, chances are that consumers may likely not pick that particular brand. They will go for the ones that have credibility. And now the question will be, what will make a particular brand have credibility? It has to be built on a foundation of trust. And what is that trust? The same thing that applies to a product brand is also does also apply to a corporate or organizational brand, which Rotary is an organizational brand. It is not a tangible brand in the sense that is why we say it's not a product brand. You can't feel and touch it. It is a service brand that has positioning in the mind already. I first heard about Rotary some 30-something years ago while I was still in secondary school. Fortunately, this is my first day of being in the midst of Rotarians. And I quite appreciate that, and I will also consider being a member after this. Now, what I say in essence is, right in secondary school, I got to know more about the humanitarian aspect of it. What do they do? They said, I think it was about a borehole. Yeah, they sank a borehole in a community and all of that. Which also brings to mind, before I get to visibility, let me address this issue. Let me ask this question to the audience. Between, I'm not mentioning any name, but between a politician who shared a wheelbarrow in his community and a Rotary district or center, a Rotary club that built a 200-bed hospital, but the politician called influencers, called journalists, and announced this wheelbarrow that is shared among people. And it's all over the social media, it's all over the media space, trending positively or negatively. That's not the issue here. And the Rotary that built a 200-bed hospital, but like the biblical saying, lighting a candle and hiding it under the bed, without making any noise. Strategic, yeah, because we're not just talking about noise, we're talking about strategic noise. A noise with intent. Please, the audience and participants, which among these two is going to be known out there? The politician that shared wheelbarrow and the Rotary that built a 200-bed hospital. Now, having said that, you might have, why I'm going to that aspect without even getting to visibility is, you might have a very credible brand, perfect brand, but if you fail to communicate what you do with that brand, chances are that the one that is doing something that is not too credible, not too noteworthy, might have all the space, the media space, the mind space, because if you look at the world as it is structured right from the beginning, it is all about mind game, mind positioning. So it is a battle of the mind. Everything we do in your family, in your community, is a battle of the mind. Oftentimes, the highest noisemakers always gets the highest attention. Doesn't matter how credible it is. So, in as much as we have to take credibility very seriously, we also, please go to the next slide, which is visibility. Okay, now how is a credible brand built? I think I've addressed this already. It has to be on trust, integrity, and expertise. Okay, let me address this expertise as well. Expertise is very, very important, especially in a professional body like Rotary. Because when the Honorable Commissioner was saying something, he gave an example of gardens. And from what he said, I think he must have encountered some gardens that did not really meet the standard of Rotary. And it also means that there is a brand positioning that Rotary has attained over time in his mind. Oh, this garden does not truly represent, we don't know Rotary for this. So it is a plus on the part of Rotary, even though you need to take correction for that, you need to make amends. But it is a plus that this garden does not befit Rotary. So it's a very good one. In that case, expertise is very important, because whatever brand you have, there is also something that that brand is known for, and you must not go below the standard of what you are actually known for as a brand. So your brand has to be built on trust, integrity, and expertise. You should avoid spin, especially in time of crisis. I know someone said something about positivity. Fine, we all love positivity, but we know that life is not all about positivity. Sometimes some bad things happen. Oftentimes bad things happen. And there are even things that we can't help. But the question is, when those things happen to either a personality or a corporate brand, what do we do? I don't think it is necessary, especially in this digital age, to start telling lies about what happened. Fine. Oftentimes, truth could, have some negative feedback, even when you tell the truth. But you have to tell the truth about what happened. If it requires apologizing, you have to apologize on behalf of the brand, just to make sure that your credibility is built on that integrity that it is known for. Please, the next slide. Now, the visibility that I have addressed earlier. It is not just about, when we talk about visibility, it is not meant for everybody. You have to know your target audience. So, if you make something visible right now, whether across all the social media handles, the truth is that there are still millions, if not billions of people out there who will not come across it. Although the way it works, I will address that when I get to the digital media. I think, and I don't know, if Rotary has a media manager, a new media manager. Because the way these things work, many people scroll through their social media pages without knowing how it works. For example, if you're on TikTok or even Facebook videos, that particular video that you watch often, you will notice that similar videos, without asking for it, will keep popping up. It is called algorithm. That is the algorithm that controls all of those stuff. So when you employ an expert in that field, they will know what to do, because these algorithms no longer work like the SEOs of websites and all the rest of them that works with text. They work with voice. So that any particular keyword that I mentioned here, if you cut the 5-second video and post online, the more you watch that video, the keyword that I use in this video will make similar videos of the same thing popping up over and over again. And that is also why you need to focus more on videos. Fine, text is very good, and I will address the issue of traditional media, but the whole essence is I want to specifically, since a lot of presenters and speakers have addressed so many issues, I want to specifically dwell on credibility, visibility, strategic communication, and strategic convergence, which is exactly what we need at this, because I'm not a member of Rotary. So that is what Rotary needs at this point, because traditional media is still very, very important. But the question is, how do you marry it with the new media? So as an organization, Rotary seriously needs to build visibility. The brand legacy is already there, but it may not be top of the mind, especially the particular districts that we have gathered here today. In order to make it top of the mind, you have to take visibility very seriously. The next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, I think this is the crux of the crux of this presentation is about strategic communication. And when we say strategic communication here, it has to be both internal and external. Because sometimes you may be surprised that as members of Rotary and in your district that you're just talking to yourselves. It could be in your social media handles, it could be anywhere, and you're just talking to yourself without talking to the outside world. But the good thing is that you're doing a lot of work that, let me borrow the word of the commissioner again, that there are some works that they are doing that are even more than what politicians are doing. But probably because you're not making the right noises, probably because you're still communicating to yourselves internally, those things are not getting really out there. Because we know that the needs in this particular environment are so many. And any particular one that you solve with strategic intent, because take for example, we are in a highbrow area, and if Rotary should sink a borehole on this Ladok Akintola, I don't think it's going to make any sense. It won't make any sense. So the area that you do things and what is needed in that area is very important, and how you communicate it is also very, very important. So that is being strategic about everything you do. The next slide, please. Now, the contemporary media landscape. It is more of a slippery slope. One word, one negative word could be used to drag you on social media, make a whole mess of every good effort, everything you've done in the past. So you need to be very, very careful on this landscape. But why is it important that you need to also work with traditional media platforms? Credibility is highly involved, because this legacy media, whether we like it or not, if you read a story on Punch, The Nation, just name all the legacy media, there is this mindset that you have that it must be credible. And the good news again is this, that all of these traditional medias are now coexisting within the digital space. So that is where the strategic convergence I'm talking about is needed. You must not wait until you have an event like this before you bring the press very close to yourself. You should try as much as possible to have friends in the media that even during your meetings, one or two of them might be there, or you have an in-house. I know that there are already, I've met a lot of people who are media experts in your organization. So they can also craft from time to time in terms of creating content and share. Make these people your friends so that it won't be, your relationship with the traditional media won't be too transactional. And what it means is that within that same digital space, you have a voice, a traditional media voice within the digital space that is very credible, that is reliable, and all of that. And your website is also a platform that you could use to share your press releases. Then your web manager should find a way to optimize your SEO from time to time, so that when mentions are made, because the SEO, the good thing about SEO is that the very moment you touch anything on Google, yours will come at least the first 10, even without mentioning Rotary. Because of what you've done and because of the way the SEO has been optimized, you will have at least a sizable share of mind in the digital space through your website and across all your social media platforms. The next slide, please. Now, why Rotary should tap into its gold mine and not its landmine? This is a very simple one. What is your gold mine? I have explained it earlier. Your gold mine is your legacy, your heritage. It is there. Any organization that could live up to a century, which is 100 years, is a plus. It's not an easy one. So all you just need is to tap into it and find a way to use it to, leverage it to the utmost. And what is your landmine? Your landmine is sitting back, thinking that, we are one of the oldest organizations in the whole world. After all, people know us. We already have a share of mind out there. And also thinking that that is good enough to make everybody, as I told you, I've heard about Rotary over 30 years ago. But this is my first time of being in the midst of Rotarians. So you'll find a way to leave that landmine and move towards making the organization very attractive to the Gen Z generation. The next. Now, recommendation. I think we really have a lot of work to do, and I am recommending that part of the work is the executives of Rotary. I heard the governor say something about training, and I love that. But you have yourself to evangelist. Mr. Abiwa said something about who was very level, all over the place. So you must become your own brand evangelist and talk more about the brand, be very strategic about it. Your friends, find a way, as the first presenter said, of sharing it across your social media platforms. But also, because it could also be tricky sometimes, because apart from Rotary, you all have your personal lives. So you must make the Rotary platforms very, very strong, in as much as you can use your own platforms to share some of those stories and also collaborate on Instagram and all the rest of it. But the Rotary platforms independently, since different presidents and governors come and go, must be very, very strong. The next slide, please. Then choosing the right media. I have touched a little bit on this, but I think by choosing the right media, you have to look at, because all media platforms have different things that they do. If you want to call a press conference now, I don't think you're going to call all the media houses in Nigeria together here. So you have to know, there are some in-house people I believe who know about these things and the right media platforms to choose. But don't ever joke with social media. It is very powerful. The digital platforms are very, very powerful because audiences are shifting, and the traditional aspect of the media is almost playing a catch-up with the new media. The next slide. Content, we say, is king, and that is what is controlling almost every narrative today. So the question now is Rotary going to wait until you have an event like this before you create content? Is Rotary going to wait until you call for a press conference and wait for the media, for journalists to come and create content for you? I don't think that is going to help in pushing the brand too far. So the easiest way to go about that is to make sure that you create your own content. It doesn't matter. Any project at all. If you sink a borehole, if you build a garden, if you renovate a school, anything you do, make sure you create adequate content out of it. And also strategically, push the content. The next, employing digital tools for global reach. Someone said something, I think she asked a question, but she said something about how she tagged the Rotary Worldwide or the global body of Rotary, and I really love that. That is very, very good, and it is key to what you do. I want to believe, I don't know, I think I read, when I was researching, I saw something about Chicago, maybe that's where Chicago was. Your head office. Yes. So try as much as possible to leverage your global reach in everything you do. Collaborate with all their handles, and whatever you do here, make sure that you make it go global through your social media handles, and your digital presence will be felt. The next. Here is my conclusion. Integration is perfect, but integrating without refining most times may not have very serious effect. So while it is very, very important that you need to integrate most of these recommendations that have been made today, always find a way to refine. Refine whatever you want to borrow, whatever you want to bring into your strategy, refine it, and that is one of the surefire means of gaining credibility and visibility. The next. Thank you for having the questions tonight.
Wow, please a resounding round of applause for Mr. Ralph Azagata. Wow, that was a mind-blowing presentation. Well, at this point, we will be having presentation of awards. We want to say a big thank you to all our speakers, but don't be too quick to go, because we still have a final speaker before we call it a day. Please, can we give a round of applause for our United District Governor as he comes forward for the presentation of awards. A round of applause. Image makers of Rotary.
Thank you very much. Please, can we all put our hands together for our speakers? Can we please put our hands? Please, can we please rise up as we give a very resounding applause to all our speakers. I must commend. Thank you very much. I must commend the public image team for putting up this crop of speakers and keynote speakers for this presentation. They have been able to x-ray, our organizations, and I think that their recommendations and their contributions will shape our public image and strategy going forward. Is that also? Yes, so, on behalf, I know time has been fast spent. Please, may I please, on behalf of the public image team, invite Honorable. It's not easy at this time. To have the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Orientation, Strategy, yes, of Lagos State, yes, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, at this moment in our midst. I know that it's because of the love and respect they have for Rotary, because I know the time, even if increased to 36 hours at this moment, will not be enough for them to handle the activities at this period of the year. So it is my pleasure to invite here. I will start with the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lagos State, Mr. Benga. Please come forward. Please, may I please also invite my district governor, Nobini, to please join us in the presentation of this. So this is just a token of our appreciation to you for being part of this meeting this afternoon. And it is my pleasure, on behalf of myself, the district governor, and the entire members of Rotary International District 9111, which comprises of 80 clubs, both in some part of Lagos State and local states. And this is an opportunity, because I think you also mentioned it, and one of our speakers talking about having the data. And within the last few months, 4 months of my assumption of office, I have visited about an average of 45 to 46 local clubs, and you'll be so amazed of the works of Rotary in local communities. Yesterday I was in the Festac Metropolitan, where they distributed food items to widows around that Festac. Quite a lot of things has been done in terms of empowerment, in terms of basic education, in terms of disease prevention and treatment, environment like you mentioned, and so many other things Rotarians of different various Rotary clubs have done of recent within the last few weeks, I mean months. So we to not only take government to see the impact of Rotary in the Lagos State, to open your door to us when you are contacted for this presentation. So on behalf of our district, I want to please give this to you as a mark of your presence here today. Thank you very much.
I'm sure he has something to say.
and they are important for us in Nigeria to embrace them. Rotary, because there are clubs inside in different things. They are Rotary of allow. On behalf of our presentation, thank you. It's my pleasure to also present this on behalf of Rotary. This
Distinguished leaders, friends, So we invite our final speaker. Hey, I'll go ahead. Let welcome Rotarian Dr. Samuel Ayet for 20 minutes and of course give him a receipt.
Thank you very much, moderator. Thank you, all distinguished leaders of all presenters, and then it has also been divinely arranged because most of the things that we needed to hear has been said by others. That's what we want to quickly look at. Everything that has been said here is about not winking in the dark. It's about not lighting our candles and putting it under the desk, isn't it? But as Rotarians, there are certain aspects of it that are internal to us. And I guess that's why I have been asked to be the one to deal with it. Next slide. As doing to increasing the impact of Rotary. So, next Rotary spoke in the foundation of Rotary as central to what that we are doing. We have stories and what they are well out of two things. Number one, second thing that is in our things that we put together. So let's just remind ourselves quickly to get every like okay now as 100 years ago and which part is made back as humanity go some image as far as is concerned. How and or people less people. And that is anytime we are talking about the ingredients we want to use stories, which is the actions that we put up in our community. So Rotary's public image revolves around its brand in the uniform across the world. What we mean is that I Rotary and the same identity in how many district clubs. My district governor, yes. And in each of those 75 clubs in this district alone, anytime you see Rotary being presented, whether in a or in social media or any platform, it's the same logo, it's the same colors, the same arrangement. Now put aside having many other things that have so many clubs, and we are doing an emphasis all by even for some of them don't name the money to go all about. This global brand MTN is a global brand that has is the same country has several decades. So, you understand that this is Rotary. And recently, the brand building has so like requires effort, including using a low ID as a district governor, work participating. I was not showing him completely on a horse, and he's talking to Rotarians and everyone around that community about the great work that Rotary has done, taking the lead in the fight against polio. So, but the point to make here is that when you see the End Polio logo, when you see the End Polio written on any item that is branded, it has always been like this. The way End Polio is written on his t-shirt is the way it is written on the pocket on the jacket. It's the same way it is written on the banner behind him. And I can assure you, if you wake up tomorrow and see an End Polio material, this is the same way you will see it. So this consistency is something that we always like to emphasize. And why are we doing that even at this seminar? It's because We have seen many instances where a particular club will consistently get the brand presentation right for some time, and all of a sudden, maybe they have a president that is not paying attention, or their public image chair is not, they change hands, and the person that is now in charge doesn't still really understand this. They begin to now do it in a way that is not consistent or really represent the brand very well. We need to start thinking of what to do at our individual club to ensure that this does not happen. Next slide. So what are the key elements of a brand? Number one is name. Because we are talking about a person or a product or a place or anything that we want to brand, it must start with a name. And then we have logo. When we talk about an organization, especially the ones that we have used as example, you see that we use their logo. And these days, even individuals have now started having their own personal logo, isn't it? Especially you see some politicians, they have something on their cap, anytime you see them, you know this is so person. So if they put Asiwaju's cap right on this podium without him being around, then you can imagine the conversation that you start having among yourself, that this is the President of the Federal Republic. And it may not also have to do with a particular logo that is crafted or designed in a particular way. It could be about how you walk. It could be about your perfume. It could be about something that will always consistently remind people of you. It could be about your voice. It could be about anything. And the main issue here is to say that every one of us should understand what it means to have that brand identity using whatever vehicle or channel that is applicable to us. And again, it's important to know that what we do here is not only useful to us as members of Rotary Club, it's also useful to us as business leaders who may also be able to apply all of this in our private businesses. For those of you who have opened business pages or handles on your social media, you will remember that logo will be one of the first things that the people who are helping you to do that will ask you to do. So next, no, I'm not done with that slide. So visual identity, which is colors, typography, imagery, etc. You can imagine that even at the level of Rotary International, we have a type font that we use to do our writings. It's as important as that. It's part of the brand identity. Tone and voice, personality, that's what I spoke about. Other things like even your perfume. Then values, vision and mission, product, service, offering, etc. Next slide. So this is still about brand. Let's move on because I need to save time. This is still about brand. Okay, please go back to that one because it's introducing the brand center. So the Rotary Brand Center is the hub or central location of all things branding when it comes to Rotary International. Our logo, our visual and voice identity, and more. It is the go-to place when you want to promote the Rotary brand and its affiliates. Let's go to the brand center. But before we go to the brand center, please hold on. How many of us have navigated through the brand center before? How many? You have visited the brand center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's really poor. Okay. That's really not encouraging. That means we have more than 30 people or so in this hall who have never visited the brand center. Should I tell you a secret? We need the office. brand side and the website is important to also quickly report what are the days when those who are not Rotarians are not able to navigate the brand center. So our guest speaker here can do well to properties that have been put there that can help us do what as public image is concerned. So this is the center. When you browse the Rotary website, it will take you to the brand downloads templates, and then you see the people of action stated on the right hand side. This is the first thing that you will see. As you are speaking, if it's convenient for you to do that, and Google it and come along with me as we are going on with the presentation. So next slide. So the Rotary Brand Center, where we also have the People of Action campaign, is what we have just introduced then. No other organization is quite like Rotary, like I was trying to say before. By using our voice consistently in all our messaging, we can ensure that our communications reflect our distinct character. So let me quickly explain what the Brand Center does. What it does is to assist you with what you need to create content as far as Rotary is concerned. Almost everything that you want to do has been envisaged and taken care of. If you want to do a radio script, you will see samples of radio scripts. If it's a television story you want to do, you will see templates. If it is flyers or the other part of it is the so the rest of the you are coming from, and people of action what you want to communicate. This talks about the brand. So if you give people of action, when you and any other information that is peculiar to you, and then you are okay with the template, and they are done by world-class brand professionals. Next slide. So, and then you have this is still talking about what you will see if you keep navigating. Next slide. So when you get to download, you see images, videos, and audios. You see logos and graphics. You see promotional materials. Like I said, you have both audio visuals and just designs that can help you. And then when you get to templates, next. So when you get to templates, you see logo or creation templates. You see create logo, you see create promotional materials. These templates, like I said, will help you to be able to adapt what you have on the brand center to the needs of the club. It's important for us to now quickly talk about the logo. As far as Rotary's brand is concerned, the most important element is the logo. And we are always concerned about not having the logo messed up, not having it misrepresented at any point in time. So how has Rotary taking care of this so that you and I do not have an excuse not to do it well. They have done it in such a way that if we go to this portion of the brand center, you can create your own club logo. All you need to do is to go to the place where you have create logos, and then it will give you the opportunity to insert the name of your club into a template that has already been created, and everything is in normal size and dimension. All you need to do is to put your club name. It will bring it out in the exact way that it's supposed to be. Now, what this means is that I can tell you for free that anytime you do not create your club logo from the brand center, 100% you are going to get something wrong, and that will be corrected. Anytime that you don't create it, except if you are lifting an already created and downloaded logo. And it's also advisable that you should have a proper and correct logo of your club stored somewhere where you can always pick it up and give to your vendors who want to design or print anything for you. So that it's not all the time that you have to go back and create it. But the issue is check to be sure that anytime a logo of your club is being used, it is sourced from the brand center. Next slide. So now we come to the Rotary logo. So we say that the master brand signature simplified is a less detailed of Rotary logo, which is simple. Smaller sizes recommended for use when printing on small spaces or items. So this is what is called the master brand signature. Anytime you see the wheel and Rotary beside it, that is known as the master brand signature. So this in another way can be called the complete logo. And this must go along with your club name if you are a club. If it's a district, like you have District 9111 on that branding material. And it is expected that you also from the brand the product that is supposed to appear. And then the next slide. Next slide. So this one is a mark of excellence. The difference between this and the other one is that this one does not have the word Rotary, isn't it? So the Rotary wheel is a mark of excellence. When you use the mark of excellence, you need to use your club or district logo near it for clarity and recognition. What this means is that it is a taboo for you to use this one without having that one that carries Rotary in a smaller size somewhere in your design. Are we together? So that's why, for instance, you see that on this row have the mark of excellence. Those who have designed this have escaped falling short of brand guideline. This is said before, so they have put it beside. Let's look at this. What you are doing is club activity, and you have put. You want the right, you're wrong. You have to put the club. So the club of Omegoli or Ikeja South. So look to the right. What has happened here? What is wrong with this one? What's wrong with the one in the right? It's not a logo. Okay. So let's see what the narrative is. So your promotional material. Don't alter the mark of excellence to make it represent another object, because that's mark of excellence inside an entirely different design. Is still the name of the club. So gone are the days when we used to have things like this. All the time, we must have logos next. So, club of somewhere is what you have on the left. Let's see what is wrong with this one. What is wrong with it? What is wrong with it? Huh? Now let me show you what is wrong. You see, this box is showing you that there is something wrong with the alignment between this one, which you will not know except to generate this logo on the brand center. So there is a place where this C must start from. There is a place where the last word here must end. No man, however brilliant you are, will be able to get it without going to the brand center, because it is something that has been automatically designed to function like that. So that's why it is wrong. Next slide. So that one is okay because that is the standard. There are also instances where you are allowed to use one single color for both the wheel and the rotary, if you are printing on surfaces that will not allow you to use the original gold and blue. All right, next slide. The smaller version that is complete, the master brand beside the mark of excellence. Anytime you have to use the mark of excellence. Next slide. So, what is wrong here? Anybody?
Thank you very much, my DGN. I think what I'm seeing right now is that anytime we want to do something of such, we should not put other logo in line with the Rotary logo together, because this time, with this design, what I'm seeing on this design now is showing that putting them together is wrong. So separate it and put other logo under it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Rotary logo is a very jealous human being. You understand? It's not human being. So it doesn't allow for competitors. You understand? So, and the reason is because Rotary International wants our audiences to be very clear about our identity. So you are not allowed to line other logos up, even if they are doing something together, even if they have relationship. It's only on occasions where the other entity is functioning like a partner that is not part of Rotary. That is when you can have what we call the lock-up arrangement. When you have the Rotary logo, you have, if you look very well, there is a line here that is called lock-up. This is lock-up system. If you generate your logos on the brand center, it will automatically place your lock-up where it's supposed to be. You see this line here, there is a dimension that it must take, such that between this one and the line is equal to between the line and this one. Are we getting it? That is even if it is an organization that qualifies to be in a lock-up. Who can give us an example of an organization that may qualify to be in a lock-up?
Thank you very much, I'm able to for this opportunity once again. All right, like from our past projects we have done, we always partner with other clubs to run projects. So in that kind of situation, we can use that kind of put the different clubs together and put the local in between the clubs.
Mr. ARP, past ARP, did you hear him? Okay. So he said, I was looking for an example of where you can use lock-up, and he said in some instances clubs with partner on the project, there may be 2, 3, 4 clubs that you can use lock-up. Club 1 with lock-up, and all of them will eventually lock themselves up, and they will be looking for somebody to free them. That's a very honest and brilliant attempt, but it is not so. You will explain to ourselves. You know why I don't want to give you the microphone? I heard you whispering to her, Rotary Foundation.
A good instance to use the lockup would be when we're talking about partnering with organizations outside. So if a Rotary Club does something with the Edison Foundation or the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, it qualifies.
Yes, past year week and present custodian of knowledge. All right, let's look at it. I will come to you. Okay.
So like United Nations, ECOWAS, World Health Organization, I'm thinking.
United Nations, ECOWAS, that is fantastic. Perfect examples of instances. My governor, sir.
Let me also make this contribution. I don't know. I'm not perfect. Because, I mean, Rotary, we learn every day. It's so dynamic that even if you are the Rotary branch center last 2, 3, 4 weeks, don't be surprised that so many things would have changed this Rotary here. But I just want to ship in this, if my facilitator approve that, is that most times, let us run away from the lockup. Like what you said, if you have partners, MTN, you have that, and you have your flyer, bring their logos to say partners, and put their logos distinctly away from the Rotary, so you don't violate some of those things. You understand? Because I have seen situations where you want to do that, but in a way, you model up everything. So to be on the safe side, if you want to do, for instance, for our district, like this program, the Rotary logo is there, and you put somewhere our partners, MTN, Airtel, Africa, and all that, and you are safe. Then another thing that we just need to mention, because I may not remember when it's done, is that we should all be conscious that this Rotary this ROTARY is not a font, it's not a character in our system. It's not a character, it's carved. So most times when you try it, you'll be looking for the character, which one is similar. You'll be looking at it and you miss it. So I want to bring to our consciousness that you cannot find this. It's not a font. You can't find this ROTAR anywhere in your system. It's a crafted material. So don't ever try to. So tell your printers, don't go and be searching for this. You will search that, and at the end of the day, they will see something that is similar, and they know no job, and they will just use it. Thank you.
You know why you need to help me to give another round of applause to DG? I will tell you now. Give it to him first. It's because I'm the only facilitators that have been able to get some help from the DG. Thank you, my DG. Okay, so the truth is that you will just search and search and search until you can search no more. That word is not in the computer. So, and that's why, if you paid attention, I mentioned the issue, I use the word trap when it comes to this brand presentation thing. There are some traps that we can fall into, and that's why we're explaining it. The interesting thing is that even the slide alone has explained what is the safest approach which the DG spoke about. Line up your partners away from the Rotary master brand. Let it express itself. Let it stand alone. Another important thing that we also need to mention is that even for the Year Team logo, we all know what to call Year Team logo. Don't put the Year Team logo in a lockup with the master brand. You don't need to do that. Place it elsewhere. Place it elsewhere. Because what it does is that it makes people who are not really into Rotary like you and I to be confused about what exactly the Rotary logo is. Next slide. So, planning for a better tomorrow. What is wrong with this one? Is there a club? Is there a club called Planning for a Better Tomorrow or a district? So what these people have done is to try to put the idea of what a program is all about into the logo. Sir? I have 5 minutes more. Okay. Next slide. Next slide. Let's move to the concluding part. So I briefly talk about Rotary Club Central. Okay, this is the People of Action campaign. Let me spend a few seconds to deal with this. You see the first one is said together we transform. The other one is said together we end polio. Together we empower. Together we learn. Any activity that you are doing at all, this People of Action campaign helps you to customize the communication, especially in a way that you can change the pictures. You can, it's very, very advised that you should change the pictures. Don't go and be putting your Igbo picture in your. I think it was during DG Akredolu's year that we ran some billboards on People of Action. And what we actually did was to use pictures of the clubs that participated in that program. Next slide. So now, the Rotary Club Central. How many of us have gone through the Rotary Club Central before? Only 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the Rotary Club Central is a dashboard on the Rotary website where clubs and districts set and monitor goals on an annual basis in pursuance of the vision and mission of Rotary. Now, we are talking about Rotary's image, brand presentation, storytelling, and everything that has to do with how Rotary is perceived, how it is understood. If we do not set goals, monitor them, and achieve them, what are the contents that we want to give journalists or put on the billboard? That's why I said that this branch center and the Rotary Club Central are like twin brothers that run together. So, next slide. There will be no story to tell to promote the Rotary brand. This is just what I've just explained. Next brand. Next slide. Upon induction, each Rotarian creates my Rotarian account. How many of us do not have a my Rotarian account, my Rotary account? We all have my Rotary account. We all have my Rotary account. Yes. Okay, fantastic. So the difference between this and the brand center is that non-Rotarians can go to the brand center, but you have to get to the Rotary Club Central through your My Rotary account. So if you open your My Rotary account, if you sign into your account, it will take you to the Rotary Club Central. And what do you find there? Next, these are the things you find on the Rotary Club Central. No, not yet. So goal setting and tracking on My Rotary applies to many key issues relating to functionality of clubs, such as membership, service project, youth service, public image, anything at all that you can think of. As I am standing before you, if I want to gossip, are we together? If I want to gossip about Job's club, where is Brother Job? He has left. Job is from Rotary Club of Water. If I want to know whether they have lost 3 members or 5 members in the last Rotary year, I will find it on the Rotary Club Central. If I want to know how much in terms of dollars is Rotary Club of Okota, where PAG Kamal comes from, how much are they planning to contribute to the foundation this Rotary year, I will find it on the Rotary Club Central. If I want to know the history of Rotary Club of Maryland, where my DG comes from, there are 10 years history in terms of how members have come in and left and how much they have raised to the foundation. I will find it on the Rotary Club Central. So what it does is to show how each club stands. And it is also an abomination for any club not to set goals on the Rotary Club Central. Because what it means is that that club does not exist. No matter how brilliantly you are doing among yourselves as Rotarians, everything you are doing, everything you are going to do, everything you have done must be accounted for on the Rotary Club Central, such that everyone, wherever they are, can view and see what you are doing and monitor progress. And the next slide is asking me to ask whether you have any questions. Any questions?
If you want to be a good speaker, join the Rotary. If you want to be a good speaker, join the Rotary. Oh, join the Rotary. Join the Rotary. Join the Rotary. If you want to be a good speaker. All right, at this point, we'll be having a presentation to the DGN. A round of applause to him for that wonderful, informative.
Please, can we all put our hands together for our district governor nominee? That was a very good presentation. And I think now we are more knowledgeable about our branch center. My DGN, sir, it's my pleasure to present this to you, to appreciate you for this beautiful presentation. Thank you very much.
I would also like to announce that all participants of the 2025 Rotary District 91-11 Public Image Seminar should please collect their certificates from Rotarian Ibrahim at the back.
Ibrahim, can I have? Okay, thank you. Please look for, where are the United Presidents here? Rotary Club of, look for Rotary Adolapo, Rotary Club of Omole Goldie, and Rotary Club of Ewututu. Yes, please, there is a certificate of attendance for those that have participated today. We are just doing a presentation for one or two people, you know, so that on your way out, please pick yours. Please, may I invite, I didn't call. I said, oh, Omole Goldie, I said Ikeja Goldie. I didn't call Omole Goldie, sorry man. Your president didn't, maybe you should collect for GD. Oh, you can collect yours, you are here. Please collect yours. I only want to give to President as a sign of, it's my pleasure to present you this certificate of participation at this event. Thank you. So, the General President of Rotary Club of Ewututu Prestige. Sandra, please come. I hope you vote for me. Please, can we invite the Vice Chair of the Public Image Team for vote of thanks? Please pick up your certificate.
PP Toniawe, past president of Rotary Club of Akunojo and the vice chairman of the Public Image Committee. Past president Toniawe for a vote of thanks on behalf of the committee and the DG. Please, let's put our hands together for PP Toniawe, please. Thank you.
Can you give ourselves a round of applause? I want to believe that everybody is served, so there is a lunchtime. Let me recognize DG, the Prince from Ondo Kingdom, Dr. Eriaki. Thank you so very much for creating the time and being with us since morning. And I would also like to thank you for giving us and create that enabling environment for the committee to deliver. I like to thank the creator and architect of the universe for the mercy and grace on all the participants at this seminar, and I'm sure we have so many takeaways as we continue to tell our stories. I would like to, most of the speakers are gone, but I would like to say a big thank you for the speakers and brilliant paper presentations and inputs. I guess we'll be able to produce some slides and send by email to all the participants as reference points. And our sponsors, I will say a big thank you for coming around every time we knock at your doors. And members of the PR committee, led by my brother PP Otun, thank you so very much for leading from the front. You know, generals and soldiers lead from the front, not from the back. So when you are firing a shot, they take the bullets first. And to the duo of Oyilola and John Odibo, John the Baptist, you can't have better masters of ceremony than these two. Can you give them a round of applause? No, that one is for participants. Can we give them a resounding round of applause, please? You know, telling our story is about perception, and perception is everything. If you don't tell our stories, nobody is going to tell our own stories. And I remember my first contact with Rotary. And when I got to that, I was working in Ibadan, and when I entered Rotary Club of Ibadan, how many of us are familiar with Ibadan? You grew up with Ibadan. Okay? You know the Remonzas of this world? Remonzas of this world, like Ways and go. So I was allowed to join Rotary Club of Ibadan, one of the oldest clubs. And I remember that those I would prostrate for in the office or on Sundays at church, they are there. So I just, I did Kalus with my legs that no, I'm not too sure this club is for me. You know, there's a perception and it's still on that Rotary clubs is meant for retirees and pensioners, you know. But once we continue to tell our stories, that change that perception about Rotary and what Rotarian stands for. So I will tell you another story, and the only story I'm going to tell you is that as we live here, tell your own stories. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. BP Tony Awe, the Vice Chairman of Public Image Committee for Rotary District 9111. Okay, at this point, I would like to invite all the public image ambassadors. Please, a round of applause if you're a public image ambassador. We want to invite you to take this picture with our district governor. We want to say thank you for supporting this program, for being a part of this event today. We couldn't have done this without you. Please, can you come forward? All our public image ambassadors who are present here right now, please come forward. Thank you. Please, let's do this quickly. We have come to the end of this program today.
We have a birthday celebrant in our midst, no other than one of our social media gurus in the public image committee, Mercy Igbafe. Mercy George Igbafe. Please, happy birthday song for George. Please, let's go congratulate Mercy on her birthday. It's her birthday today. And so we're playing you the song. The floor is yours, Mercy.